Popcorn?
Butter.
Nachos?
Cheese.
Murder.
Root beer with red licorice straw?
Right here. All right. You know what I realized earlier today?
Yeah.
I'm so self-conscious, I feel, about the way we start our shows. I feel like I feel like if I'm not super like pumped up and hyped within like the first like I don't know like 15 seconds, that it's like, oh, it's over. You know, I don't think we're gonna have it. Yeah, I know. I don't know. Maybe it's not a good idea to like express that out loud, is it? I don't know. We're being honest. We're transparency.
We're transgender?
Open your heart.
What? Yeah.
Hey everyone, welcome to Ready to Start the Podcast. I'm Ryan Rivety, the host of the show. Who else is here?
Who made you the host?
Me.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Rosa. I'm a co-host and not the host because I don't want that responsibility, and yet here I am making more responsibility for myself. Who are you people?
Well, I'm doing fine. If you're asking me.
Who are you?
You know. I'm Seep.
No, you're
On
not.
the very. Yes, I am on the very left of the screen.
Prove it.
I'm wearing a green skeleton shirt. There's the proof.
Evidence for me. Yeah.
Here, you got me there.
Eyes immediately drawn to the Otis plane.
All right, but we can't. No, this is gonna be the third episode in a row where somebody gets on me for the Otis plane. We're not doing it again. We're not.
Oh, who's our special guest?
Hi, I'm Punkit. I'm a game developer. I'm a comic artist. I made that one comic that blew up about 10 months ago about Fluttershy eating a forever weed brownie. It's been my claim to fame ever since.
Forever weed brownie.
I've gotten awards. They actually let me give out a Nobel Prize recently. That's pretty cool. Yeah. I make games. I'm making a game called Susan Taxpayer, and yeah, those are my projects. I'm here. I'm kind of like if you unfroze a caveman and put a mic in front of her. So that's probably how I'll be for this podcast.
Are you from?
Media literate.
Are you from Australia?
What?
Like
What? Sorry, that's my little nephew there. Sorry.
Oh,
And it's like your little enough is just Seep Jr.
Yeah, Steve Jr.
I don't know how that works.
Why did you ask that?
Like,
What? I didn't ask that.
Okay, why did your
Be nice to little nephew. He's like 4.
why did your
He's
little
35.
detective solving cartoon nephew ask that?
Punkit, what do you think of the Otis plane?
I have no clue what you're referencing.
That's a problem.
I'm blind. Yeah.
It's really. I feel like every time we ask a guest about the Otis plane, they don't know what we're talking about.
No, zero clue. 100%. Completely in the dark.
Can you see the image right now? on the
I see a
screen?
Ferris wheel. I see a
Well,
boardwalk.
I think your stream might be paused.
Oh no! Wait, hold on. Let me fix that. I see a plane. I see a
That's the
little,
Otis
I see a little
plane.
desktop.
That's
That
the
just
Otis
seems like a
plane.
to me. I just see a plane. I don't see no Otis plane. Sorry.
You don't think that's Otis plane?
We have to do
That's
this every
weird.
episode of the show where we bring the guest on and they're like, look how bad Ryan did at putting the Otis plane on screen.
maybe we should just like crash the Otis plane into the ground.
No, I'm keeping it out of spite. Everyone's so mean to me all the time now.
Everyone's so
Okay.
mean to me.
Hello, everyone in chat. Welcome to the podcast. What is a podcast, anyway? Well, let me show you. Hey, what's going on? This is my I got so mad. I was watching TV. You know those TV commercials where like, I feel like that's the thing to do now. It's like, hey, what's going on? Hey, what's up? It's me. Hey, I'm the commercial. Hey, what's up? I'm the company. Hey, we're thinking about you. Hey.
Yeah, you
Do
want
you
to
think I could?
keep going?
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I
You think I could do that?
Maybe.
Hey, what's
I,
up?
I will take anything over the commercials where it's just like a TikTok, like it's like disguised as one. Like they hire a guy and they're like, make the lowest like possible quality like phone video, and that'll get
What
people
are some
to
examples?
try out the product. There's one on Tumblr for a very long time, on the mobile version, where it was just like a guy talking about like mushrooms, and he was like holding up a bag of mushrooms, and it was like very clearly from like a large company, but it was like framed like it was some dude in his apartment recommending the product, and I was like, this feels more
Oh,
dishonest than usual for some reason.
I get what you mean. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My least favorite commercial is the one for Liberty Insurance where he sends the little boy off work, and then the little boy goes, Liberty, 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 Liberty. It makes me really mad for some reason.
That made me. I'm mad at you right now. I'm mad at you right now.
My least favorite commercial is the one with the car.
Which
The
one?
car.
All of them.
Nodding along. I agree. The one with the car's terrible.
Are we gonna have like an interview section where we ask questions about your video game?
You can ask me questions about anything.
Okay. I never played
Is
it.
Susan's taxpayer gonna be in the next Smash Bros?
Here's my social security number. 513.
Wait, whoa! We need a panic button or something. Oh my
Isn't that
god.
That's the soundboard.
Fry.
Yeah.
Hey, so
Okay.
real quick before we start the show, I do have a minor announcement, and I will be going to. You mind, Sans? I will be going into more detail on this later. Next month, this is the last month we're gonna be on Patreon. We're moving it to here on YouTube with YouTube memberships.
Yeah. They unveiled the new logo and we just weren't feeling it, so we're jumping ship.
Yeah, that's the main reason, of course. No,
That logo, yeah.
it is a bad logo, but that wasn't the main reason.
Have you Pumpkin? Have you seen the new logo?
Isn't
Yeah.
it just like a blob?
Yeah, it's like a freaking piece of crap.
I already
It's so
thought it was bad. I thought the original was very smartly designed. The new one sucks ass, and the new one somehow sucks even more, which is very
Yeah.
impressive. IMO.
At least the second one, it was like it's supposed to be like a coin, right? I mean, that was when it's animated. Like, okay, I
supposed to be
get it. Yeah, it's like a coin and like a coin slot, and there's like an animation where it like comes out of the coin slot because it's like
I
you're
guess that
paying.
makes sense.
Yeah,
But
I mean
also think it sucks.
right. At least there was some like thought to it. This one, I'm excited to hear what their justification for this one is.
Uh,
I just want to say real quick. So everything that was on the Patreon originally is still gonna be there, like the art raffle and early videos. Kind of deciding still how we're gonna distribute those, but we will be distributing those either on Discord or here somehow. So all those will be there. There's only gonna be one tier. I decided the multiple tiers thing for us was just never working out anyway. So there's just one $3 tier this time, and you get everything you did originally, and we're bringing you get emotes again. We're gonna have emotes again, and I already have one. We already have one. He's back.
What is it?
He's back. Kinda cringe is back.
incredible.
I can't use it. How do I use it?
You have to become a member, Rosa.
I have to
Yeah.
become a member? How do I do
Yeah.
that?
You click the join
Well-
button next to the Ready to Start show icon and title on the screen.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's right next to the subscribe button. So, it's really easy to
Wow.
accidentally click when you're about to go and subscribe to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, whoops.
Wow.
Oh, I slipped and I hit the button. Oh my gosh. But luckily I was already subscribed, so it just unsubscribed me. So I gotta fix that.
You gotta stay subscribed.
Yeah.
else.
Or else look. My friend's gonna be sad if you don't, right, little friend? You're right, Kurun.
This is very normal for us.
I really do enjoy walking into a new space, and not having any of the preceding knowledge.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what Ryan told you to get you on here, but
Ryan said, "Hey, we're doing a podcast. You want to do it?" And I went, "Yeah." And that was it.
You're the
Kinda
first. Can I tell you the truth? You're the first guest of note I've gotten ever. Anytime I try to use any
That's true.
connections I've had, they're like, "Oh, sorry, I'm just busy right now." And then when Seep goes for a guest, like we're getting like Tom Hanks on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be incredible. Let's make that our new goal. Forget
I
our
got
Make
nothing to
future
do
ones.
Saturday night. Why not? So
Awesome. Yeah. I guess
And
we have really like, I don't know. It's really great to have people on here Saturday nights. You know,
Mhm.
that you have a lot of options for activities, and we're glad you chose us. That goes for everyone watching too. You know.
well, thank you very much.
Oh, we got our first YouTube member. Oh, enjoy your
Oh my god.
baby Monkey
Wow.
Kong emote.
Whoa.
What are some other
Olivia
emotes that we're
Gwendolyn.
gonna-
My good friend Olivia Gwendolyn.
Oh yeah, he's been on the show.
Yeah, we love to talk about Rainbow Dash Presents together.
Oh, we're allowed to mention chat. We're allowed to acknowledge chat.
Yes.
Okay. Hi, Oratal. Nice to see you here, bud. You're the best.
What did you think we were allowed to mention chat?
I don't know the
It's-
attitude.
it's like
listen.
A big carrot on the stick. I mean, we got it there for a reason. You know.
To
That's why we're
assume
doing this
makes an
live.
ass out of you and somebody else, from what I heard.
I guess that's
So,
true. Oh my
you know, I
gosh.
like to not. Yeah. Wow. They're pouring in.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you,
They
everyone.
love us. They love the emote.
They really like
like us.
They really want us to talk about Rainbow Dash Presents.
Oh my gosh.
Is that how Norvel is spelled? No, I
No.
I just shortened a bit because otherwise it wouldn't have fit.
Really?
Yeah.
It's actually Norval with 18 silent G's, but I want to be
Yeah.
aware.
Oh, kid, I have to ask, do you know what Rainbow Dash Presents is? Because I know you're a pony head. My girlfriend Rosa mentions it every single day of her life.
So surprisingly, for being the newest horse famous customer in the fandom, I'm actually very illiterate on many sections of it.
Okay, I'm glad then.
But I have heard of Rainbow Dash Presents, even if I've never like properly watched it. And yeah, it's like she like presents like stories, right? If I remember correctly.
Yeah.
I do like if you Google it and go down to the images, like the sixth result I think is somebody saying the rise and fall of Rainbow Dash Presents.
Is it Saberspark? What ruined? Rainbow Dash presents.
There's
Oh,
Man.
there's
I
a
saw-
there's a rise and fall thing on YouTube for everything. I found a channel yesterday. I'm not gonna name them because I don't want to make them feel bad, but it was a channel that did nothing but talk about the rise and fall of Super Mario Logan, the plush channel.
Listen, I think the rise and fall thing is very interesting because have any of these dummies never bounced a ball before? That's how it works. Come on,
The rise and fall balls?
the rise and fall and rise and then fall and then rise and fall. You know,
Oh.
it's up and down.
This is how they teach you animations, kids. Pay attention.
Yeah, exactly. See, it's like fundamental, and they don't know.
Funimation.
Can we get pictures on the screen of every pony comic and
Every
Susan?
single one of them.
Well, just so people can see it. It's like when you're at the
Wait.
convention, you know, people can see it so
Okay.
they know like what you are.
Yeah, let me get
Also,
Susan Taxpayer
Glenn,
on
what do you
screen.
mean by black mold poisoning?
They got
Ooh,
black.
what-
That was
what
his
is-
fall. He got black mold poisoning.
Well, okay then,
did?
fair enough.
What happened?
What? I don't know. We want to get into the news.
Yeah.
Eh.
All right, what should we talk about first? Let me look. Oh, I'm pulling into my news basket. Basket.
Oh,
What's in
Oh,
there?
let's see. I want something really delicious.
Ooh, we got so many good topics, like the one I'm
Oh,
about to
that one. That one.
the one I'm about to screenshot so we can have it because I forgot to put it down. Ooh, I'm stalling for time a
What?
bit more. Ooh, I'm
what are you doing?
shuffling my hand around the cool bag. Ooh, what am I gonna pull out? What if we talk about politics this episode?
Oh,
He made a rise and fall of Mr. Enter. It's crazy. I think he was always falling.
Oh,
he never wrote.
It's Pibby. It's Pibby. We're gonna talk about Pibby.
The,
Oh
Oh my god, the
we'll talk
rise
about
and fall
the rise
of Pibby?
and fall of Pibby.
Oh my god, did Pibby finally get greenlit? After all this promotion and hype and this growing fan base?
No.
No?
The curator of the Pibby concept has confirmed on Instagram
The Pibby
Uh,
Project. The Pibby Initiative.
the Pibby initiative. It's confirmed. Pibby is not happening. I'm of
No.
I'm of two minds. I'm of two minds about this. I have to be honest. Okay. I
Awesome.
I never really was attached to the Pibby concept.
The Pibby brand,
Yeah.
I'd say.
Even from the start, it wasn't really for me. But I also think it's very weird. Adult Swim feels like it was like kind of stringing this thing along.
Yeah.
They kept like kind of being like, "Ooh, maybe it'll happen. We'll do the April Fool's prank where Pibby takes over the channel." And then now they're just not greenlighting it. I don't know what happened. I feel like they had the money of so many little children around the world excited. I guess also maybe they didn't greenlit it because all those animation channels already made their own Pibby cartoons. So if you want to watch Pibby,
Wait a minute.
if you want to watch Pibby go on an adventure with Talking Ben, like the children already have that.
Yeah. Or
The
with
children.
Player from Poppy Playtime.
Uh,
They go into the back rooms and go onto the Jaeger machine in the back room.
Yeah.
I think Pibby is very fascinating to me because as somebody who has no reference to what children are really into right now, because my cousins who are younger than me, one of them is like 6 and lives in the woods and has like no internet access,
Okay.
and the other is like 17 and is going through like a goth phase. So I have no clue what's cool with that right now.
So, like,
What?
did you just leave your cousin in the woods at age 6, surviving on
I
your own?
mean, I lived in the woods at like age 12 to now, so it's not really that much of a difference.
On your own?
I lived in the woods when I was 6.
This is like not an exaggeration, by the way. I live on the side of a mountain when I'm not at college, like in a village of 300 people. Straight up, this is not a bit.
Bill Watterson's your neighbor.
Yeah, actually, he signed my Calvin and Hobbes book. He came all the way up to
wow.
Washington to do that. Very sweet of him. So yeah, I
Wow.
have no idea. Like, I like hear occasionally that Pibby has like a following, but like never in a way that I think I should look at. If that makes any sense.
So you
Like an elephant's foot.
you've never had the experience of like going to the mall and walking around and turning your head and seeing rows upon rows of like bootleg, like Poppy's Playtime Friday Night Funkin' plushies, Sonic.exe plushies, like lining shelves.
I can't say that's an experience I've had. No. I maybe go into the Zoomies on occasion, but you know.
The children right now, they love Sonic.exe from like 2008.
Oh,
That's what they love now.
They're back to living Sonic EXE. Like in my rocking chair.
Yeah, no,
They
there's
never
been
stop.
there's been an EX Renaissance, so to speak.
Yeah.
I think kids just really like just evil like versions of things that they liked like 2 years ago when they were really little. You know,
I
there's something
understand.
intriguing about that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like Sonic EXE is the reason why Friday Night Funkin' devs cannot find original or new ways to develop that game further, because every Sonic EXE fans have done that.
They own it now. They just hand over the keys.
I just, one of the most surreal experiences for me recently is I was at the mall with Lou, my roommate and co-host of Looney Duels, and we were at this like toy store that was mostly bootleg toys. For the most part, it's like a bootleg Pikachu. It's just a normal Pikachu, but it's clearly bootleg. And then we turned the corner, and there were Sonic plushies with sharp teeth covered in blood from Sonic.exe, and I have to wonder, like, what do parents think of this? Like, is this like a bad thing for the Sonic brand, like in general? Like, Sonic brand leadership is explained, no, those aren't official, those aren't real. Sonic.exe is not part of the brand. Is that like a problem for them?
Where are all these cool malls coming from? Mine is just like lame and old and has nothing in them. I thought I was being pranked when you were talking about the blushes.
No, that's real.
No.
That is 100%
That's
real.
crazy. Oh my goodness.
Hang on.
Wow.
Find the image real quick while we keep talking.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I'm like if you unfroze a caveman and put a mic in front of her, I'm like cut off from society, basically. I know nothing.
We barely talked
That's
about
crazy.
Pibby.
Yeah, we
What?
barely talk about Pippi at all.
I remember.
Go on.
No. What do you have to say about Pibby?
I was just gonna say I feel like Pibby's a thing where like maybe the commercial like they made for it, the trailer is like kind of neat as a concept, but like when I try to think about what it would be as like a full show, I tend to like struggle a bit with like what would it really do, kinda, and like
Yeah.
maybe this is just me. I didn't really find the use of like already existing characters like glitched out to be very appealing, and it just like well, if I see Finn and Jake and they're like glitched out guys, I'm most of them like, oh, my guys.
Yeah. I mean, we repeat the bit like, and it's characters you know. That's the fucked up part, and it's really
Right.
a lot of it just hinges on that, and like, it really probably is gonna be the reason why we watch it. Instead of like whatever Privy's doing, like I don't.
That's
Oh.
crazy. Those are crazy images.
What?
I wish I went to some place that had bootleg Sonic EXE. I would buy up their entire stock. My wallet would be gone.
You
Just
know,
for the
I want to say
novelty of it.
I thought that Tails plush had like blue shoes. They should make bootleg blue shoes Tails.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see the discourse over that.
The problem with Pibby also is I just don't think
problem with Pibby.
I just don't
What ruined Pibby?
just don't think the Pibby glitch would get Uncle Grandpa. He'd, like,
I mean, that's
would pull out his belly bag and belly bag would like eat the Pibby glitch.
well. Maybe
yeah,
at the
lore-wise,
end,
he's your greatest ally.
maybe at the end, like they're fending off the glitch, and then it kind of coagulates and it comes into like this big ball, and then it reveals itself to be Uncle Grandpa, who became a glitch to teach everyone a lesson about friendship.
Wow.
I wanted to teach
Oh my god.
all about how you should work together.
Yeah.
And then nobody's like mad at him. They're like all like, oh wow. You really taught us
Everyone's like,
something.
wow.
Uncle Grandpa.
Thank you, Uncle Grandpa, for making the best show on Cartoon Network with never received any backlash ever.
We gotta get Pete Braugart, creator of Uncle Grandpa, on here. I bet he'd like to be on here.
Pibby, I hope you learned a valuable lesson today about being happy, about where you are already in the Pibby show, and valuing your friends. And
Did I just fix Pibby?
he was like, oh man, Uncle G, you really got him.
Oh, yeah, it's me, Pizza Steve.
But what
This
about
is what I sound like.
what about Mr. Gus? What would he say? What would he say?
Oh man, Uncle Grandpa. Oh man. Oh, Uncle Grandpa. Oh man, my gem is on my tail.
what would realistic Tiger say?
She'd go. Okay, whatever. Pibby, no more. I guess. I don't know. It was kind of. It was an interesting trailer. There was something shocking about it. I guess they had SpongeBob. You know,
Background.
SpongeBob background.
Oh, you know what happened? The guys at Cartoon Network saw the SpongeBob scene in Bandy's universe and were like, we can't top this.
Yeah.
Maybe it would have just been a lesser Bandy's universe.
Yeah.
You know what Bandy's universe is? Pumpkin,
Yeah,
I should
yeah,
ask.
Punkit. You know what Bandy's universe is?
You have to assume that
What?
I'm like Patrick Star. I live under a rock. You got to inform me of everything. You got to
This is
like a fresh
GIF.
start.
Ryan, can we put? Is this GIF possible to put on the screen?
Oh, let me see.
This is Bandy's universe.
Yeah, sure.
This is the scene from Bandy's
oh.
universe.
Wait, as in Nathaniel?
Nathaniel Bandy,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no! I
See,
thought you were
you
saying
get it.
Bendy's universe, and I thought it was
No.
just
Bendy and the Ink Machine.
yeah. I feel like that fits with like what you're saying, like in the same like
Pibby.
category.
Yeah.
I have heard of Bandy's universe, and I think it's incredible that a show that would have definitely existed and gotten 100,000 views in 2008 was made today. Having unfortunately not consumed much of it, I'm still I admire it in a sense for existing as it does.
I like how
think-
he's. Oh, sorry. Go on.
Well, I just think it's a very interesting series of videos. It's kind of unapologetic in a way that's like it's almost embarrassing, but it's like this guy clearly is enjoying himself. So like, who's the real fool here,
I love Nathaniel Bandy's YouTube icon where he's just like crossing his arms. Like this is like the distilled YouTuber. This is like the core being.
He really
Yeah.
is like a core YouTuber.
He's
Um,
he's like an alligator. He survived from like the core ages. You know?
I like how he's like two characters.
Oh yeah, do you know about that, Puckett? How he
That he's two characters?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's Nathaniel Bandy and Nathaniel Landy, and he plays both of them in Bandy's universe.
Is like Landy like a dark is he like evil? Or is
No,
he just like
no.
another he's just like another Nathaniel?
Yeah, he's
He's
Nathaniel,
his brother.
He's his brother, and he's played by Nathaniel Bandy, and he likes rocks.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's like Dark
Interesting.
Gary from like Nintendo Week.
You remember Dark Gary?
I
don't- what is-
Do you know about Dark Gary? You know Dark Gary.
Did you own the Wii?
Oh, Dark Gary on the Wii, right. I'm sorry. I sound stupid right now. It's Dark Gary on the Wii.
I feel like
Isn't
I'm
it?
being gaslit.
Oh man.
No, I'm not familiar. Please enlighten me. I'd love to hear more.
Dark Gary. Okay, so there was on the Wii, they had like the Nintendo channel, and then they have like their news channel to announce like their new games and stuff. And then they would have one called Nintendo Week. It'll be co-hosts by like two people, Gary, Allison, and then Allison left, and they replaced Allison with like Dark Gary, who's just like Gary in the dark outfit.
Okay, I found a picture of Dark Gary on the wiki that exists, the Nintendo Week wiki.
Are you sure
The
it wasn't from,
Nintendo
like,
Week Wiki.
I know Salty Dicky Can just kept pictures of the Dark Gary for some reason.
Or was this like basement? or
We did a great job talking about Pibby.
Yeah,
think
I
we-
feel
No,
like I'm
this
very
is how
caught up with
Pibby
who you are.
works.
Yeah,
This
we
is-
just talk
this
about
is-
everything.
This is the way. It's the way of Pibby.
No, I don't know.
What?
I Pibby is like. I feel bad. For
I know, you hate
for- No,
Pibby.
no. Like I said, I don't really care about the concept, but I do feel bad for the guy who made it because I think he got strung along a bit, and it's a little weird. I guess to consider this like 2-minute concept pilot inspired like a children's like online media empire somehow. I think that's weird and
Yeah.
fascinating.
I mean, I get that. That is kind of like the silver lining of it. I mean, Pibby will always have a home in some people's hearts. I mean, people
Yeah.
have made their own Pibbies, I guess. So
Yeah.
And you're not gonna top that.
Now-
yeah,
just
I mean,
really fascinating like sequence of events like
yeah.
Sonic.exe gets popular again somehow, which becomes this whole AU Friday Night Funkin' like children's landscape, and then Pibby gets revealed, and then Pibby has characters glitching out, which is appealing to children at this exact moment in time, and then that becomes like absorbed in that, and then both of those get absorbed in like children's YouTube network, and then you're watching animations where Pibby from the pilot Pibby is meeting Talking Ben.
I
And
wonder
like
what the,
the
I
player.
did see a clip of that. I did see that clip.
I wonder what the Pibby guy thinks of like what people have made of Pibby.
Hmm.
Because I mean, when you think about it, a lot of what Pibby has become to us, like a lot of that's just like not even actually what the show like it's going off of so little. It's just going off that trailer, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Like what if it just went in like such a completely different direction? And like
What if they all figured it out by episode 2 and then it went back to normal? It was just a
Like-
children's, it was
Yeah,
just a
well-
children's education show.
like we don't know.
No, it's
We don't know. Like
it's
what if this guy's like weeping, like
No.
seeing like they're missing.
What if Pibby's mom doesn't look like that?
What if it's
Yeah,
like awkward?
exactly.
What if it was like awkward scene? Like only the first episode follows like a plot they set up, and then everything after that is just some bullshit.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, rest in peace, Pibby.
Yeah.
I mean,
Rest in
does
peace.
this mean we'll like stop talking about her?
No,
No.
because the word Pibby has entered our fucking stupid language. So
Yeah.
I'll be saying like,
So I want to mention, shout out to the fact that for some reason, post the fact that it came out like way after like Glitter Force was a thing and advertised. For some reason, someone out there specifically made like a Friday Night fucking mob with the Pibby glitch for like one of the preacher characters, but they called him Glitter Piece. Like that is such a specific thing. Like I'm so amazed that happened.
I think I do remember that somehow. I think you have talked about that.
but speaking of Adult Swim,
What?
we got our first look at voices, the new voices of Rick or Morty, and
Our first Yay.
listen. I think the big takeaway for me from that trailer I watched, I don't really watch Rick and Morty, but like, you know, I know.
Well, let's catch people up to speed. What if they haven't seen the trailer? What is it? What's going on with Rick and Morty?
Okay, hold on. I actually just say real quick. I don't really watch Rick and Morty that much anymore. I watched for a bit.
You don't watch either of them.
Neither of them. Maybe I'll watch Summer once in a while.
Yeah.
You know, it's just not my thing. But I think it's interesting, and I'm not original in pointing this out at all. I think it's fascinating how easily replaceable Justin Roiland was.
For real?
Because the voices here are like almost exact.
Yeah, so I mean,
I just took a peek. I would not be able to tell the difference in any capacity.
Yeah, so basically, I mean, I just to give a timeline, just in case anyone isn't aware, because we're a real podcast. So there's a new season of Rick and Morty coming out. During production of it, co-creator and voice of Rick and Morty was fired from the show
For being an awful human being.
Yeah, there's a few reasons. I mean, there was like legal troubles with him.
He was like a kind of a shitty like boss.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a
Anti-union.
big. I think that's a big reason why he was probably dropped. I don't. It seemed like a lot of the people on the shows just didn't really like working with him.
He barely did anything on the show too. Like by the point we're at right now is he basically came in to do the voices and that was it.
Yeah. But this season was made, I think at least like a few of the episodes. I don't know how many of it was recorded, but some amount of it was recorded with Roiland. So they've had to replace the voices like after the fact. So I feel like there's been a lot of advertising for this newest season. But it took a while for them to like reveal like the voices at all. Like there's a lot of they've been doing a lot of marketing that just reuses old clips or just shows characters other than Rick and Morty. So yeah, they recently released a trailer that was our first listen at them, and it basically sounds. It's near. I think the new voices, and they have confirmed it's two different actors, playing Rick and Morty now.
Oh, really? Huh.
Yeah, which I think is an interesting change. That seems ideal to me, at least. I mean, I think that's going to give
dialogue a bit more like flow.
Yeah, a new sort of flavor to like the improv type of dialogue the show likes to do, which might be a good change. I don't know.
Yeah, you're really using people who are actually funny instead of Justin Roiland.
Well, we honestly don't even know that exactly. They haven't. They have refrained. They're pulling a Charles Martinet, I guess. They're refraining from revealing like who the voices are, which is interesting. I think they just want to let it speak for itself.
Yeah, I think I'm in Nintendo's case with that. I'm very suspicious of why they're doing that. In this case, I think it is just like we want to let the voices speak for themselves, and then we'll show who it is like in the credits of that episode that's premiering soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, like there is the risk of like taking a character that is so pivotal to your show and then putting the actor at like the forefront of that. Because as we saw with Justin, if that goes south, that is a huge like issue.
There was a multi-media $1 million empire built around that guy's voice.
Yeah. It wasn't even a good voice. I mean,
it is interesting how people were gonna. This kind of happened at the exact right time. You know, I feel like a lot of people are kind of. I mean, some people are pretty like, you know, boycotting and like, you know,
Instead of 50 million views, the newest Rick and Morty will get 49,500,000 views.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like there are a lot of people who might be interested with where they've gone.
Oh, you mean it that way? Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I'll definitely check out the first episode this season because I am curious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
You know,
but go ahead.
I was gonna say, I wanted to prove that it is that easy to replace just Merlin by doing an impression of Rick and Morty right now.
Oh, okay. Let's hear. This is a very novel thing. I don't know if we've ever heard Rosa do a sort of. I wonder what she's going to talk about. Let's hear it.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Hit me off, Karun. Thank you. Marty, how's it going today? Fuck you, Rick! I just listened to the mind of Tasmanian Devil! He's a communist! He wants everyone to unionize Rick! Marty, shut up.
What?
All right.
The Tasmanian Devil?
Yeah, remember when he was on Space Jam 2?
You should know that, Ryan. That's a movie that like lives in your mind.
My least favorite movie ever, yeah.
But yeah, I think these new actors, they kind of sound as close as you could get with new people, and it was never going to be identical. I was surprised. There's been like a lot of building up to this. There was a lot of talk about the sort of direction they were going with it. They said they weren't going to be like picking like impersonators. I assume that means like people who do impressions like online.
Yeah.
Like so I'm guessing the replacement voices are like people who have done voice acting in other media, probably. But yeah, I'm surprised with just how authentic it sounds. I really do think it sounds like people. If you're someone who somehow like completely evaded this news, you probably wouldn't notice a thing.
I feel like
I certainly wouldn't.
It's funny to like use the Mario example again. I could tell by trailer 1 of Mario Wonder like something was up with Mario's voice a bit. But I think if I watched this Rick and Morty trailer without the context, I don't think I would even think about it.
I feel like voice blind because I remember when people were talking about that must not be Charles Martinet. I was like, I can't hear it. I feel like something is wrong with me because I cannot hear any like issue. like when they replace actors on shows, sometimes you can like really obviously tell. But like for 50% of the times that's ever happened in my life, I'd go, wait, they replaced the voice actor? Like I'm so terrible at recognizing that. It's like the opposite of face blindness for me. I just go, oh, the wacky Italian guy. Yeah, that's him still.
the Mario thing, to be fair to you, was like, incredibly contentious before it was announced. Like it was a lot of like hot debate about it.
Yeah, I mean Mario's not a guy who like talks a ton.
Yeah,
like, it was mostly just like video game noises that people were going off of.
I just
people were like, listen to the Wowie Zowie, and I was like, I listened to it, and I was like, that sounds like Wowie Zowie to me. I don't know.
I just listen to Mario 24 hours a day because I'm obsessed with that little guy.
We almost got to talk to Mario once.
We did, and then we got scared.
Yeah, because at that point I probably didn't have any self-control to like not call Mario bottom.
Okay. We'll get into this later. I do have some more things to say about the Mario voice. But Justin Roiland also recently got replaced on Adventure Time too.
Oh yeah.
There was a new voice. You probably know who it was because you're gonna remember this thing.
Jinx Monsoon, who is a non-binary drag queen.
Yo, let's go.
I wonder, like, at what point in production that happened, because they also voice, like, there's like a gender swap lemon grab, the lemon carbs.
Yeah.
I wonder if it was just like that was originally like what they were brought on for. And then like when the Roiland news happened, they're like, you could also do this, right?
It was a good lemon grab.
Yeah. But yeah, I think this Rick and Morty situation, Justin Roiland works out for everyone. He's gone. No one has to deal with him anymore. The show has 2 actors that get to bounce off each other. So like that'll maybe improve dialogue. Solar Opposites, the guy has a better voice now too. everything just kind of works out for everyone now that he's fucked off.
You know who
It's
replaced Roiland as the Red Goobler in Solar Opposites?
Yeah? Who?
It was Eric Bauza.
Yo,
Isn't that
Yeah.
we're like Eric Bowers' like hype squad on the show.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I've been like since day one. I've been a Bauza battalion? I've been a part of the Bauza battalion. I have stories of like, I don't know what year it was, but at like Comic Cons, he would sometimes host like, he'd host like some of like the smaller Cartoon Network panels where they would like preview like new shows. I think that's where We Bare Bears was first shown.
Oh yeah.
He would host a lot of those. That guy is he's really funny. He's like good at just like he's good at hosting and like improvising.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, there's like a picture of like my mom who just like took a picture with him like years ago, before he was even like Bugs Bunny or anything. I'm a huge like, hey Bowser, if you want to come on, be my guest.
It's okay, Bowser. We support unions too.
Yeah.
Oh, he's like he's like at the forefront of that. He's posted about it all the time.
Yeah, he's a big.
That's how...
He's the anti-Roiland, I guess.
The anti-Roiland forged to destroy you.
He did his Trump voice, by the way. He did his like Fairly Odd Parents Foop Trump voice.
Yeah.
I want to point that out. The episode of Fairly Odd Parents where Poof does the Trump voice. He did that.
It's great.
That's great, Carl.
This entire time that everything that has been talked about, and this is all my fault, but I feel like I'm in the world they like that long-running bit people do online where it's like, I love Grimblow, the fucking Simpsons family member that was there the whole time. This is all my fault. But like, I think it's really funny that I feel like I'm being like in the world where I don't know anything.
No, that dawns on us sometimes. I remember last night we were playing Kirby last night, and we were very seriously like strategizing about all the different areas. Like, I think I found a map to like to Radish Ruins here. I think there's a way to get to the Mustard Mansion through the Cabbage Caverns. So I think there's a shortcut over by the
Orange
the
Ocean
Carrot Castle. Yeah, I sounded ridiculous last night.
That's awesome. It's great.
Yeah, our chat was so used to us gaslighting them that like they wouldn't believe us if we say things like that. It's like, you made it up.
That's just real quick before we move topics. That's how I feel when I play Fortnite with my friends. They know all the area names. They're like, "All right, guys, we gotta lend down Salty Splatoon." I'm like, "Oh yeah, that place." "Oh guys, we gotta go to Shitty Springs." "Oh yeah, we gotta go to Silly Town. Head over to Silly Town, everyone."
All right, let's land on Feminist Fields.
Feminist
Fields.
I know that
Yeah.
one. I know Feminist Fields.
Of course, because that's the only one you remember. The one we made up.
Yeah, I made up Feminist Fields.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of voice acting change and Kirby platforming games, kinda somewhat, I don't know, loosely tangentially relates. I played Mario Wonder at Best Buy.
Oh, for real? You can do that? Wait, that's so cool.
It's any place that has like a game kiosk for the Switch might have Mario Wonder. So Target, Walmart, GameStop, Best Buy, any of those might have Mario Wonder there.
Loot Lane.
Folks, I gotta go. I gotta drive somewhere.
Yeah.
I'll be back.
Oh yeah,
Right
see
now?
ya.
But I played it. It's not a very long demo. You get about 10 minutes, but there was nobody else playing it. So I played it like 3 times. I played like for like 30 minutes. I just walked into Best Buy and played Mario Wonder for 30 minutes.
What'd you think?
Okay, we're landing in Ovary Appy.
No, that's not how it works. They're supposed to be the same. Start with the same letter. Yeah.
So the levels I played, don't start the animal chart thing.
Wait. Did they have the animal power up there?
They did.
Okay, can we finally confirm like which?
Yeah, hold on.
Who did you play as?
Let me get the animal charts up real quick.
Okay, yeah, please get the animal chart up. Pumpkin, you're gonna want to pay attention here.
I'm taking notes. That is, that's him. That's Marlio.
No, it's not.
Okay, I'm pulling the animal chart up right now.
Please. So it's
Not
been a
notice the
very
change on the TV.
it's been a very long road to Mario Wonder here, and I think that's really been the one big topic of discussion. Which animal will each character be when they get the animal power up? Because we have a lot of playable characters confirmed here.
Yeah.
So if we can get the animal chart up,
I got it. Yeah. Okay. So I played as Luigi and Daisy. I can confirm when Luigi grabs the elephant fruit, he turns into an elephant.
Okay. All right.
That's crazy.
Okay.
When Daisy,
That's just like Mario.
When Daisy grabbed the elephant fruit, she turned into an elephant.
I knew it.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, okay. I can kind of. I mean, she's kind of brutish and like strong-headed. I guess so.
A little interesting though. If you go to Nintendo's YouTube channel and you watch some footage, you might notice Princess Peach, when she grabs the elephant fruit, she turns into an elephant.
Oh my god.
Peach, the girl.
Wow. Yeah, the girl. That's crazy. Daisy isn't apparently.
Wait, okay. Is she an elephant
the continuity
with
of this bit?
No. They don't have hair.
No hair.
No hair.
Wait.
Hair?
Peach doesn't have her beautiful girl hair?
That's great. How will I know she's a girl then? That's crazy.
Yeah.
I can only identify them through their hair.
No, they don't have their hair.
Is she like
That's
a
so
skinny
sad.
elephant, maybe? Like,
No, she's big and fat.
oh.
Oh man. What about
Okay,
Yoshi?
I mean, I guess
But
it's
Yoshi-
fine, but
Listen,
don't let the fan artist see that,
Listen, does Yoshi turn into a sexy horse?
He does, yeah. When Yoshi grabs the elephant fruit.
Yeah, baby.
Okay, well, I guess that's the silver lining. That's the saving grace we got here. Okay, that's fine. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, but yeah.
I put the Mario Wonder demo. It is the levels you've seen like 30 times in trailers. It's like the first 5 levels of the game you get. There's nothing too hard or anything super new in it, but it was good to like get a game feel for it, I think.
Yeah, that's great.
It's kind
Can
of
you throw
interesting.
the shell up?
You can put the shell up, yes. If you're holding an item in this game, you can kick it up like Super Mario World.
Ah, it's a good game. We're good.
Fine.
The game feels interesting because it is very similar to new Super games, but they change a lot of animations, and I've seen a lot of like people talk about this more into like the tech side of things. The more snappy animation kind of interestingly affects the game feel kind of in your mind. Because Mario's like snappier movements make the game feel better. And there are some things he's a bit quicker in this one, I would say, like a bit quicker. And like when he turns, like in Super Mario Brothers, if you're running and you turn, he does that slide for a bit. The slide is short in this one. He's like kind of an animation, looks like Mario 3, like his like arms are up, kind of.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my god.
Like it's kind of similar to New Soup, but the animations make things a bit snappier.
Okay.
I like. The power ups I got to do elephant and drill. Bubble is not in this demo. I kind of talked about this on Twitter the other night. The thing I like about the power ups in this one, what I've played and seen, is they're very like interactable and have like multiple things they can do. So like the drill, for example, can drill and it can like block things with like above you. The elephant is big and can like crash into things and use its trunk to like swing and like suck up water and spit it out. And with the bubble, we see that too. It can kidnap. It can get enemies stuck in the bubble and
You can kidnap them and send them back to the temple.
yeah, and they can create platforms, literally. They can create platforms you can jump on.
Yeah.
So everything like has kind of multiple uses, which I like a lot. There's a lot. They interact with the level a lot. Like the drill can like drill things in the level. The elephant can interact with like water things within the level.
That's so exciting.
The thing though I found interesting is it kind of leaves the fire flower in the dust a bit. It's very basic. It's basically the same as ever. You could just throw 2 fireballs. I hope maybe there's like some sort of other interesting utility use we haven't seen for it yet, because it would be a shame if that got kind of left in the dust a bit.
I mean, maybe they'll just keep it as just like that's the thing that can hurt bosses. That's at least one thing that I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You're gonna hurt it with bubbles. Like, I feel like Fireball does kind of fill that niche if you create it.
Okay,
so
that's fair.
I will say a really easy way to do extra functionality for the Fireball that I'm about to go real wacko mode here. In Super Mario Brothers X, the engine that I make Susan Taxpayer in,
Yeah.
you can angle
Whoa.
the fireballs by just doing up or down, and it like adds such a crazy amount of complexity when you're like running through levels, which sounds so silly. But the ability to like control where the fireball is going and not just in like one direction, it makes it feel really good to use. And I'm really surprised they've like never done that in the official capacity from what I know.
That's a thought I had, is like be able to just like kind of point up and like shoot the fireballs up. I think that would be like a really easy way to like give it a bit more like interesting uses.
Yeah, like it feels good. Like I can attest, like that kind of change is a really good time. It's such a simple change, but it like it lets you do more with it, and that just feels good every single time. So
What badges do you use? I use 3 of them. I use the you start with the kind of cap one where you can like float down slowly with the big hat. I like that one. It's fun. It's very basic, but like the animation is really fun and cute, so I think it makes it fun to use. The one I liked, the one I liked the most was you get to unlock it in the demo by playing the level. Is the one where you kind of slide up the wall. You can, when you're sliding down the wall, do like a wall jump. First, you'll do like a quick burst up the wall, and then you do like a wall jump.
Cool.
I like that one a lot. It seems a bit situational. I think I can imagine it being useful like in more castle-based levels. And the other one I used was there's a badge that gives you like Luigi's like jump, like the older games, and I like that one a lot because I tend to play as Luigi, so I feel at home using it.
That's cute. That's great.
And those are the 3 I used. You don't get the grappling hook in the demo, sadly. That's the one I'm looking forward to the most, but you don't have the grappling hook.
I am so pumped.
Yeah,
legitimately, this is gonna be a great.
That's the one I'm most excited for.
Yeah, I am making Super Mario Brothers Wonder. Yeah, it's been all me actually the entire time. Elif.
All you.
Wow.
Yeah, all
I
me.
mean, you are a game dev.
And you made My Little
that's
Pony?
true. Yeah, I did also make My Little Pony. Lauren Faust, don't know her. Really funny Mario Wonder tidbit is that I'm in a development Discord for Super Mario Brothers X because I don't actually know how to code very well, and people who do know how to do that are very handy and helpful and very nice to me. But they have like you can make like plugins, which is what I use for Susan Taxpayer.
Yeah.
And people have been recreating like Mario Wonder things from like the trailers, which is really cool. But there's like a no spoilers rule. And so like every week somebody's like, "Hey, I made little note blocks that you can run on in Mario Wonder," and people are like, "I'm gonna kill you. You're going to the dungeon."
Is that a spoiler? That's just in the trailer.
Well, no, anything from the trailer is a spoiler. Like you're not
guess-
allowed to like talk about it.
That's funny because the note blocks. It's funny those are like ones because you see those within the first 5 seconds of the game. Like in like this,
Yeah, like-
in the story intro, you see them.
I feel like there's a limit to the amount something can be a spoiler. Like, guys, guess what? Mario's in this one, and people are like, "What the hell?"
Like I would consider like maybe wonder effects and like bosses, like the things like I would definitely want to be spoiled. But like the blocks is a bit funny.
I know. Well, it's like the first thing that came to mind because I thought it was so funny. I was like, I completely understand because if you're in a Super Mario Brothers like development Discord, you were like really into it and you want to like preserve the experience.
Right.
And like, when are you gonna get a new Mario like 2D platformer? It's been like 11 years, so like I understand. But boy, it's really funny to see like the kill sat like dropped on somebody for being like, "Hey, I remade the little guys that jump when you jump." That's supposed to go on the spoiler channel. You will die.
I talked a bit about animations making the gameplay feel a bit snappier earlier, but in general, the animation is just really like amazing on the whole. One of the things,
so charmed by it.
One of the things I've really noticed is the Goombas in this game are like insanely expressive and reactive. So if you get hit by a Goomba, they like kind of bite you and smile when they do it. Like they have a little like
that's so
cheering
cute.
animation. You can catch them sleeping, and if you bump into them while they're sleeping, they won't hurt you. You just kind of bump them away.
God.
And then if you jump on a Goomba near another Goomba, the Goomba near will like panic.
Oh, just like my fucked up Mario parodies.
And in general, all the enemies are kind of like that. They're all very kind of reactive and like interactive with the environment they're in. It kind of makes it feel like they're more like actual characters, which is cool.
That's so exciting.
Like there's this squirrel enemy thing, and when you get near it, it gets scared of you and starts running away and shooting. It's usually like holding an item or something you want to get. And I really like that. Character animation is really good too. I play as Luigi and Daisy, so I got to see like one of the more cartoony bros and then one of the princesses. They're all very expressive. They use a lot of like kind of smearing and like kind of 2D kind of effects within 3D. Like when Mario and Luigi run fast, like their legs kind of like multiply, you know, like smearing a bit. Peach and Daisy get kind of like dash lines behind them when they run fast. It's all great stuff. Everyone's really expressive. I like that. I've talked about this before. I'm glad they didn't skip out on letting like weird shit happen to Peach and Daisy. I was worried.
Yeah, thank goodness.
I was gonna worry they're gonna pussy out on that, but no, they get like the weird transformation effects. They get hit in elephant form. They get like funny elephant heads before they turn back. All the weird stuff that happens to everyone happens to them. It's great. The backgrounds in this game are gorgeous too.
Oh, I can imagine.
Oh, that's in
this
the
game
game
looks
too.
like a treat visually. I'm so excited.
Yeah, put this image on the screen.
Yeah, go
Oh,
for
It's
it.
really good.
Is it the Toadette one?
No.
Okay, yeah, I'm not to be the number one new Super Mario Brothers kind of hater. I don't hate those games. I just think they're really mid. The visual direction in these games feel like so anti what New Soup was going for. It's kind of insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so like I have the Super Mario obsession. Like I've been like this ever since I was like 6. It doesn't come out very often, but when it does, it's like catastrophic. And like I was so content with the new Super Mario Brothers series because literally since I was, when did it come out? Like 9 until like the Super Mario, no, it was like until I was like 5 till I was like 11. Like that was like all 2D Mario was for me, like while I was like alive. And so I was like, yeah, whatever, I'm content with it. But like every single Mario Wonder trailer has been like, oh, I was eating like gruel. I was eating crumbs like the entire time. Like this could have been Mario. It just wasn't.
It's kind of one of those things, like a lot of like looking back at, I think U in particular, it looks the worst now. New Super Mario Brothers U, because like DS, I think still looks good. I like DS.
I think it's cute for what it is. Like it was the first one. I see no like original sin there.
I'm a bit of a Wii hater, but I think it's more understandable that one looks like it. I think 2 even has a bit of like a kind of a bit more of an interesting art direction. I don't think it's amazing, but it's a bit more interesting. U is just like
Tanuki.
yeah, U is just like, why you look like this?
Yeah.
They're so plasticky. There was like a huge era of Nintendo like Mario stuff where they just looked like dolls.
Yeah.
Like they had no texture. It was kind of crazy.
Yeah, their faces didn't even like animate at all, even on the Wii U.
Yeah. I think New Super U, like as somebody who still enjoys it to like a middling amount, it's like really a great expression of like you can design a really solid game, but if there is like no novelty behind it or like charm, it really doesn't do anything for anyone.
No, right.
Yeah.
I think people, you get those graphics don't matters take a lot, but I do think to some extent, a visual presentation with like character and personality and a style and theme or tone could really make a game. Like I don't think, like for example, anyone would like the Rayman 2D platformers as much if they didn't have those art directions.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They're like
visual.
Yeah,
The visuals are a crucial element of the medium.
High graphics don't matter. Art direction does.
Yeah, baby. Here's my
Right.
thing, right? Like you can have a game that like sucks ass to play, but if it's like really visually or like narratively interesting, totally makes up for it. And you can do the exact same thing because if a game looks like ass but it like plays wonderfully, like that makes up for everything in my opinion. If you have both, that's awesome. If you have neither, my god. And sometimes you really push that rule to the limit because New Soup U, like as I think well designed as that is, it's incredibly solid, but it's kind of like making like mashed potatoes. Like you can make really good mashed potatoes, but it's not like a meal most people are like, woo! About.
Let me just eat just this.
yeah,
Let me eat just this. Like man, put
Yeah.
some like spice or like some herbs on it, like something.
Make a steak to go with it, you know? Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
Someone was talking about this in chat. I love that Mario U reveal trailer where like the circle opens up and Mario's starting at the screen. It's like, well, here it is. And then like 90% of the trailer is like Mario walking. He doesn't run.
we made another one.
I think it's
There's
so
squirrels.
funny. There's squirrels in this one.
That footage is like... I'm like high playing the game.
It's so funny because I've watched a lot of like Wonder trailers because I'm kind of obsessed. So I need to watch every minor trailer they release no matter what. It's so funny the footage they have for like Wonder is always like so like purposeful and like staged well and makes the game look really exciting. So it's just really insane watching that U trailer where half of it is like everyone's walking slowly and then when there's 4 players, 1 player is usually just standing there doing nothing.
And the idle animation is always them just staring at the screen.
A cool thing about the demo is if you get a game over. I didn't get a game over because I'm a gamer, but if you get a game over,
Yeah.
they send you to a bonus level with like a bunch of coins, and the Mario 64 slide music plays.
Yo, that's so
Ooh.
interesting.
And that kind of brings me to a kind of expanded topic I have. 2D Mario can often feel very like insular from everything else. Like it's in its own domain. It exists its own domain. Something I find interesting about Wonder is they're a bit more open to like saying like, hey, the rest of this universe exists in this game. So they feel like,
Oh, that's so exciting! Yes.
so you have like the Mario 64 slide music. There's a level with King Boo in it. Like King Boo's in the game, which is interesting. Even like just the presence of Daisy in general is like, okay,
Yeah.
the greater Mario universe exists. Which sometimes it feels like Mario games want to be like, no, it doesn't, which is fine. I think it's fine. A lot like in Odyssey, I don't care. Like the world doesn't line up exactly with other games. It's more about creating interesting environments. But I like when Mario's like, hey, the series is a history and characters. We could use them, and it's blended well with
Yeah.
like new ideas too. It's not like
Yeah.
it's not too hard in like the reusing ideas way. It's like just enough blended with the new to make it feel like, oh, I'm being kind of rewarded as a fan of this universe to point and clap when I see King Boo.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I there's that you actually touched on something that I've felt before because like I got into Sonic a couple years ago. Like I just
Yeah.
never got into it a while. But like recently, I was like, I should get into Sonic. It looks really cute, and I'm glad I did because like as of late with Sonic stuff, like there's so many little nods to like the most obscure stuff, and it feels so cool to like know that there's that history and like know that they can reach back and be like, hey, we brought back that stupid like Triple Trouble like Weasel guy, and you're like, oh my god, there he is, like. It's rewarding. It feels really good. Like if they brought back like Sarasaland or like any of like the Mario Land enemies in like Mario Wonder, I would like have the same reaction as I did like looking at I don't know Mirage Saloon Zone and Sonic Mania, where it's like I know those guys,
Uh-huh.
and it's not like overt, but you feel good that you like know them, and it feels like they're not just like tossing away everything they did already. They're not just like all right, discard it. You know, it was a cool idea once. So
Right.
Yeah. Go on.
I think the Mario series needs to bring back Tiltwort.
Oh, he's dead. He's the only one.
Yeah, I know. I just want to know why.
He died.
they put him in the ground. He's 6 feet under.
All right, I'll write a reason why then.
Oh yeah, somebody
He's part of
pointed
the
this out.
mycelium network now.
Even like the purple coin, like exclusive to kingdoms thing from Odyssey Returns, like there's like exclusive coins to this kingdom and they're purple, like in Odyssey. Like I don't know, it's neat. Like there's
Yes.
a world to the series that is in history that has existed before, and we're allowed. Because again, like New Soup is like very like in its own universe. Like Wario and Waluigi don't exist in the New Soup universe. Like no, they're not out there. Stop believing that. But in this game,
Very stripped down for a casual perspective. I feel.
right?
Mhm.
But yeah, it's looking cool. Well, Ryan, I gotta ask you actually.
Mhm.
What did you think of the flowers?
Talking flowers.
Yeah.
They're a bit. They don't bother me too
you
much.
hate them. Oh,
No, I
you're
was
turning
the-
them off.
no, I
You're
was-
gonna You're turning them off immediately.
No, I was gonna say they don't bother me too much, but I can also understand why somebody would think they're annoying.
Mhm.
I was like fine with them like in the reveal, but I was so worried they were gonna pull some like, whoa, it's a double Yoshi explosion like tier dialogue.
What?
So I was so hyped when they said you could turn them off. I was like, options, we love them.
I'm
Like I
so
knew how infuriating it would be for some folks.
I'm really anticipating to see like how they're implemented like fully, because I'm so conflicted. Because sometimes there have been some times where I watch footage and they like say something like stupid, and I'm like, stop it. Why are you talking right now? It's a very weird thing to add to a 2D Mario, because those are always very like the game kind of speaks for itself, you know,
Mhm.
in a figurative sense, not literally.
Mhm.
But I also like, I don't know, it's a thing that they put into the game, and they clearly, it's clearly something that like, you know, they paid an actor to be here and they wrote all these little scenes. So I don't know, I'm like curious if it gets implemented in like a really neat way at some point. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I like the weird like I wonder what a Goomba tastes like dialogue or whatever. Like
Uh-huh.
that's interesting to me. Like if it's all that, I'd be really into it. But I can see it going south very quickly if you're playing it for like hours on end.
Yeah, there should be a part where they're like, "Be careful not to fall off here."
Yeah, I think when you get to like the Champions Road type level, they should put them everywhere, and they keep going. Whoa, watch out!
This place looks dangerous.
You can
Take a
change the language they
piss.
speak. I mean, if I could just make them all speak like Korean, it would do the same function as like me not having to hear them, essentially. It's like if I just
Right.
don't understand the language, then it's not an issue.
Yeah, that's what I did with Twitter trends for a while.
Multilingual Mario fan who hates the flowers like realizes that they can only
The
listen
person who
to it in
speaks every
languages they all
language.
know. They're like, no. It's like when
I
that
kinda-
guy who breaks his glasses in Twilight Zone.
I think they should have all had like cartoony belly bag voices. I think that some people would like find that like 10 times worse. I think that would make me like never kill them all.
Whoa!
Tastes like.
This place is crazy.
Totally wacky, totally crazy.
It's a
sounds like
they have a
chum-chum.
very like children's audiobook voice to me. You know,
Wow.
it sounds like they could be your teacher, and like I don't know, it's very like it's a very non-threatening sound. I want them to like freak me out and annoy me. You know.
Speaking of voice acting, I think playing this demo as Luigi in particular, I think it finally sunk in. Like, oh, that's not Charles. Like for me, like fully, because like the point of Charles Martinet.
Oh,
Because like
we're on a first name basis here.
the voice
please show
acting,
some respect.
the voice acting's not bad at all. Like not even a little. But like I could definitely tell, like listening to Luigi, like oh that's not him. That's definitely not him.
It's not him.
It's not him.
What about the other characters?
It's a little hard to tell with Daisy because she hasn't got new voice clips since Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U. That's true.
That's like 9 years ago.
Yeah. So it's a little hard to compare because like that's very much it could just be like the actor hasn't done the character in a while and there's like a new voice direction thing. So I'm not willing to say one way or the other. I described Daisy in this one as she sounds a lot like Tomo from Azumagadayo's dub.
Which is
okay.
amazing.
She sounds a lot like her if you've watched that dub.
It's amazing to watch it.
But Daisy has sounded like Tomo to me in the past, so it's not impossible that it's still the same actor. Again, like a lot of them, they don't record Mario voice clips as much as you think they would. I think Peach, the last time Peach got new voice clips was Odyssey in 2017, for example. Mario and Luigi tend to get them the most. Just like Mario gets one for every new mainline game. I think a lot of like events. Luigi got a bunch of them in Luigi's Mansion 3. But like a lot of the more side characters like Waluigi or Wario, even like Yoshi, they don't really get them unless it's like a major new release. I can't really tell on Daisy yet. I want to say it's the same actor, but I'm not quite sure.
I will find out in 2 weeks.
Yep.
So we have to beat the game first.
Oh my god, it's only 2 weeks. Oh my god, I'm gonna think. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of something else I wanted to say that I noticed about the game. I don't know. I'm excited about it. I'm very excited to play it.
You think they'll have a secret character?
I'm beginning to think no. My reason is partially there's already 12 characters, which is a lot by Mario standards, and the other one is you can unlock those standees in the game, and they have 12 per character for all 12 characters. So I don't know. Maybe they add more like that shop once the game is finished, but I don't. I'm leaning towards a no right
I think
now.
we talked about this in a previous episode. I think it would feel weird to add an unlockable character in a game where they all play the same.
Mhm.
It just seems like a weird, like arbitrary. You know, like why is this one unlockable?
You
Yeah.
unlock Tanuki Suit Mario. He doesn't do anything different though.
Tanuki Suit
Oh.
told it, and then we're in the deal.
Puckett, who is
Yeah.
Wooster?
Googling him, he is the Mushroom King's chief advisor in the Super Mario adventure
Oh.
books.
That's pretty
We need
cool.
to see we need to see the Mushroom King.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Super Mario Wiki. Appreciate you. Oh, here's the Mushroom King. Here, let me send this over.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
I'm gonna put Wooster on screen right now.
Okay.
He looks so crusty. I thought the Mario Wiki would have a better image of him, but this is like nearly all they got.
For the Mario movie 2, they're gonna have the elephant fruit and reuse the Elephant Girl model from the Sing movies.
Do you think
I like that
Illumination
idea.
would be bold enough to let Princess Peach become an elephant in a movie? She's their beautiful woman badass character. She can't be silly.
Yeah.
She can't be
Oh.
silly. I still
Mario,
haven't seen that movie.
Mario
What
though.
the heck?
Mario can grab the Wonder Fruit in the movie and use the model of the Pharrell elephant from Sing 2.
Oh my god.
The fur elephants.
Lou, you can shower. My roommate's in chat.
What do you mean the shower's gonna mess with it? What kind of setup do you have?
My room's right next to the bathroom.
8,000
whatever.
PSI shower. Just blast
close
your
the
skin
door.
off.
Are you gonna put this picture up?
You want me to put the king mushroom on too? Oh
No. It's a Rosa drew this while the show was live picture. I think we kind of have to.
She maintained the same body type with the elephant trunk. Yeah. If you were a coward, that's what you would do. Either you never do it or you full commit. I'm sorry. You can't do some halfway bids.
I wish she was curvy and skinny and still an elephant and had beautiful hair and eyelashes.
I wish that Princess Peach turned into a beautiful elephant with
Is it
1%
Gru?
body fat.
I wish. I
No,
wish.
it's just a voice, but sure, it's Gru
I
now.
wish the elephant turned.
And then Kevin the minion goes, eh.
Yeah.
We have to give Illumination a little credit. The Sing elephants did not have like beautiful girl female hair.
They don't. None of the characters in Sing have like hair glued on, except like the Eric Andre bull character.
I mean, that's an animal that has hair
That's fair.
like that
There's
in
an
real
Eric
life.
Andre Bull character? I'm behind on my
Oh yeah, you
Hold on.
haven't seen
Yeah.
the poster? Hold on, let's get that Sing new Eric Andre poster.
Is it
Let's
gonna be
just
one
put
of
that
those
on the
posters they
screen,
just
right?
have the actor with the character and it's really funny looking?
You know it.
Oh yes, one of those Benedict Cumberbatch wolf pictures, my favorite.
Okay, Eric
That
Andre is
reminds me of
Darius.
Mike Melissa.
Okay,
Of course it does.
this is crazy. I was at Everfree Northwest, the My Little Pony convention in August.
Mhm.
And somebody walked up to me and they were like, "Hey, can you sign my book?" And I was like, "Absolutely." And they went, and they were like, "Can you draw Melissa in it?" And I went, "Oh, who's that?" And they went, "Do you know Mike and Melissa?" And like,
Wait, they
I
just
felt
said,
like
"Can
I
you
got
draw Melissa?"
flashbangs. Yeah, like they were super nice people. Like there was no qualms with them at all. But I felt like I just got like a party popper, like set off like 1 inch from my face when that happened.
There's a non-zero
Why
chance.
were you saddled with that responsibility?
There's a non-zero chance the person who approached you with that was Rosa, because that's something she would do.
No, it was very legitimate. Apparently, they're like one of the heads of the Mike and Melissa Discord.
Really?
So
The Mike and Melissa Discord.
yeah, there was like a
Really?
zine of Mike and Melissa that I picked up while I was there from the free table. I think it was written
my
by them.
God.
I was like, wow, this is committed. This is a whole scene I just wasn't aware of.
I'm just thinking of like the world that some people are living in, where it's just like you just say, "Oh, you know Melissa," and you immediately think of Mike and Melissa.
Can
It's
Can I?
just an interesting.
Can I love Mike and Melissa. I'm gonna be straightforward and say, in my planning docket for like future Yuris, I'm planning one based on like inspired by Mike and Melissa. That's right. I have plans for a toxic Yuri based on Mike and Melissa.
This is a lot of
Inspired
words.
by. Inspired by.
Incredible.
Fired by.
And I cannot make the co-founder watch that.
That was Mike who approached you.
Can you imagine
You guys haven't seen in years.
the honor?
I would be legitimate. I would like kneel.
I wanted to say, freaking, I have to say this every time we talk about Mario Wonder because I need to be right about this when the game comes out. Need to
Okay.
put my prediction out there again. The boss in this game will be like Yoshi's Island. They'll be like enemies who get the Wonder Flower and they become big and weird.
All right.
Oh, you're so right. You're so right about
Let's
that.
see.
That sounds like the kind of idea cohesion they want to push for this.
Mhm.
Oh, that's good. Man, Yoshi's Island was the bomb. I finally like played that recently, and I was like, wait,
Really?
this is good.
That's a great game. I'm always like, I really like all the ways where it like you can see how it influenced later Mario games, which is
Yeah.
interesting because I feel like later Yoshi games, like after that one, they sort of split off into their own thing. But that one was very much just like there's
It's
just
very-
a lot of like stuff that they continued within the Mario
Yeah.
series with that.
This
one.
is really interesting to me because I'm currently working on a silly little project where I talk about every mainline Mario game and make the argument that it's a mainline Mario game. I don't know if
Uh-huh.
anybody has the like Jan Misuli video about that.
I have,
but,
yes.
like,
Oh, of course. That's famous for
I wanted to put my idea out there that Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island is not a Super Mario World game in any capacity.
in any capacity.
In any capacity, it's one of those games where it's like I didn't know there's people out there who consider that like a Mario game, but it's like
Uh-huh.
I can't like envision the universe where I would think that like you don't play as Mario. It's a different
Yeah,
art
but
style.
Mario's there.
He's
Mario's
there.
right there. I
The
I
baby.
consider it. I
He's also in,
consider
like-
it. I think I'm kind of like a Mario. I think I consider that kind of a Mario game. Because I think of like at the time, we have a very like, I guess retroactive like view of what a Mario game is. I feel like at the time they were very like, they were a little more lenient on that. is what I would
Yeah,
argue.
I mean that makes sense to me. But in every Mario game before that, you could play as Mario, and you can do it for like 30 seconds at a time, once every like couple hours in Yoshi's Island. So like I don't know. I'm here to make an argument. So I just think it's funny that they're like, it's Mario Land 3, Wario. Mario's in it for 1 second.
I actually don't count Mario Land 3 as a Mario game.
See,
I
that's
think-
what I'm thinking about.
I think Yoshi's Island is more of a Mario game than Super Mario Land 3.
That's
Is what
I would
I'd
argue
say.
the opposite.
No,
Honestly.
no.
I think I can
So-
see where Seep's coming from because I do think Mario, this main series universe, like took a lot from Yoshi's Island, and I don't think mainline universe Mario took anything from Mario Land 3 ever really.
Right, yeah. I think if Yoshi's Island was never made, I think it would affect future Mario games pretty
Mhm.
drastically. But I think
Oh yeah.
for Wario Land, that isn't the case.
That's fair. If I was gonna think of, I'm gonna make a game where I like play like a Mario game. I feel like Wario
Uh-huh.
Land 1 plays a lot more similar to it than I would Yoshi's Island, I guess.
Mhm.
Even Miyamoto considers it so. Yeah, well, I don't trust that old man. You know,
that coot.
I don't trust that old fart. He
Uh,
comes in and he goes, "It's a Mario game," and then he leaves.
One more thing on Wonder I found interesting is they confirmed something I kind of thought really is that a lot of the younger guard are working on this game from Nintendo. Like it's kind of the same thing with Splatoon. When it came out, it's like a lot of the younger people worked on Splatoon. A lot of like
Mhm.
Nintendo's younger staff is working on this one, and I think I could tell because I think maybe this is like a stupid thing to say. I think when a Nintendo game feels really fresh and new, I'm always like, okay, yeah, the younger guys from Nintendo are doing this one.
Yeah, you can feel it very palpably. Where they're like, "Okay, well, that was cool, Miyamoto. Can we make our like own thing now, please?"
All right.
Mine.
All right, Grandpa,
Yeah.
time to go back to bed.
All right. You know, I think about how there are like YouTubers or Nintendo YouTubers that would just call Miyamoto Shiggy. Like they know him.
Hey,
know him like that?
Me and Shiggy.
Has Arlo ever called him Shiggy?
No.
I don't know.
Arlo's
No.
normal
Yeah.
for the most part.
Steve, can you do an Arlo voice saying Shiggy?
Shiggy.
Okay, thank you.
There. Yeah. I
Can you
think-
do that, Ryan, honey?
I don't think you can. I actually don't think you can.
No, I'm on.
Shiggy!
It sounds like Gerber.
I can
Let's
see the Arlo
see.
puppet moving. I can see the hands open, like the head moving during that.
It's
Uh-huh.
It's
good.
very clear to me. Yeah.
I want to point out Super Mario Land 2. I think that was that before Mario World?
Super Mario
that
Land
was
2.
after.
No, 2 was before. Because I. But no, 1. No, okay, no, 2's after. I was thinking 1.
2 was after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because my
I just
thought.
wanna know.
The interesting fun fact I learned yesterday, I was surprised to like remember, is that Daisy is an older character than Yoshi.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that is interesting.
I think Daisy, Wario, and Yoshi were like kind of a 3 to 4 year span of debuts, which is crazy. That's 3 major characters like added to the universe like in 3 years. But yeah, Daisy was
Yeah.
first, then Yoshi was after, and then it was Wario.
Mm-hmm.
The hierarchy of power.
The hierarchy of power.
The hierarchy of power in the Mario universe is about to change forever.
What's our next freaking piece of crap
Uh,
topic.
Do this one because it can transition from game to cartoon easily. Everyone, we're talking about Nick Star All-Star Brawl 2 again.
Yeah, baby. Let's
Again?
go.
We talk about this every episode.
It's because they reveal like a character every week. But now
Yeah, no, that's true.
they revealed Azula this week, and we have full confirmation now that we know every character in the game.
Yo.
That's it. So that's like
Wait.
what is it, 22 or something?
It is 26 characters, I believe.
Okay.
My favorite thing about the full roster is that they brought Lincoln Loud's sister back, Lucy Loud, and they didn't put Lincoln Loud in the game. They took him out.
Yeah.
I like how this is your picture for the topic, by the way.
Gandhi Ren.
Gandhi Ren.
Gandhi
Yeah.
Ranger.
Oh, yeah.
You had a take on this roster that you liked it, but you thought there was like three characters specifically you thought were missing. See, that you were kind of weird about.
Yeah. Well, I think specifically for me it was Sandy, Toph, and Helga. I feel like those were like in the first game. Those were like characters that were like very. I feel like those they really make sense if you're gonna make like a Nickelodeon fighting game to include those. So it was kind of sad to see them swapped out, just because I don't know. It felt right to have them there. But I do think their like respective franchises, they all got new characters that I feel like make a lot of sense as well. So it's like I can't be too like broken up about it. Like Plankton is probably like one of the best SpongeBob characters you could add in a game like this, I feel.
Yeah, that was my thought on those three specifically. Is I feel like they're like, okay, we already gotta give these like series new characters anyway. So if like push is coming to shove on like who we need to cut, I think it probably made sense for them. I think with like Toph in particular is like Aang. You gotta have Aang. He's like the main guy and a fighter, and then Korra is like the main character of her show and all that. I think with Sandy too, it's like unfortunately just on the hierarchy of SpongeBob characters, like Patrick and Squidward and SpongeBob are like the main three guys in that show.
Yeah. So now it's just like 3 gay men and 1 bisexual.
It's up to you to figure out which one's which.
Oh, I know which is which. But yeah, I'm gonna say, I feel like leading up to this, more people were like expecting Zuko to be like the firebender rep.
Yeah,
I kind of feel like Azula. I think that's kind of a better pick. I'm gonna say. I kind of like her a bit more as like a fighting game.
I agree.
Character.
My thought process always was, one, it'd be funnier if she got in the game because she's like, in the realm of like Nicktoons characters that exist, she's like evil, like really evil and like cruel.
Yeah.
So it's funnier to see her next to like Rocco than Zuko to me. And the other thought is she can do like the lightning bending shit, which Zuko couldn't do, which I think makes her a bit more interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, that's basically my thoughts too.
Plus, like,
oh, you first.
I was gonna say, plus, like, you know, we need like a gaslighter on the roster.
Right. we gotta have one.
Yeah, always.
No, we have another one.
I was gonna say, so I wasn't super familiar with Nick All Stars 1, but I will say this starting roster for this one seems way more in line with what I would think of as a Nickelodeon All Stars like fighting game cast. Like, as much as I love weird picks for fighters, I feel like, you know, Powdered Toast Man in the first one is maybe not who I would think of if I was like, let's make a Nickelodeon fighting game.
This one does have some oddball picks, but
McGarry's awesome, so
yeah, I do think. Do you have like a picture of the whole? Yeah, you do. Okay.
Yeah.
I think like with the cuts in this one and the new ones they've added, there does feel like a better balance of like 90s stuff
and 2000s.
In 2000s.
Because the base roster of the first game very much heavily favored like the 90s, and now it's a bit more even. And then you have your two 2010 characters because Nick hasn't had a decent cartoon.
Yeah,
Where's Breadwinners? Where's Breadwinners on this cast?
Yeah.
Hey, where's Cricket Banana Slug?
The Pig Boat Banana Cricket. Yeah, I mean,
hold on. I just say remove Harvey Beach from that. Harvey Beaks is innocent.
No.
Yeah.
I was actually gonna say Harvey Beaks is really cute.
I mean,
it should
part
be
of
up
Here's
there.
the thing: they could put in Harvey Beaks, but then they're gonna have to confront the fact that he fucked over Black Green Blood.
Yeah.
I mean, I think part of the issue there is like after SpongeBob came out, like a switch flipped in like the Nickelodeon, like I guess machine, to where like they basically don't let anything exist if it doesn't reach that level.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the moment the Loud House started getting popular, like Fairly Odd Parents was like pretty much revolved out like pretty soon after.
Have they had
Yeah.
any Fairly Odd Parents rep in these 2 games?
No, and the reason for that is highly speculated. The devs have
Really?
heavily implied they want to put Timmy in the game, but they can't for
Really?
some reason. And the reason that is usually speculated is Nelvana owns the first 2 seasons of the Fairly Odd Parents, which crosses over into game rights, which makes
Whoa.
putting Timmy into these things like really shockingly difficult, is what I've heard.
I think it's
Huh.
specifically like in other countries. Like
Yeah.
I think there was one Nick
Yeah.
crossover game where they had to change the title because Timmy was in it.
Whoa.
It was called like Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon was in the title basically, like Nicktoons or Nickelodeon. And in other countries they had to change that because Timmy was there, and like the company like didn't want Timmy to be like a Nickelodeon character in other countries or something.
That is
Right.
so. This is the first time I've ever heard about this. That's bizarre.
And
Oh my
that-
gosh.
Yeah, it's some like corporate BS.
No, yeah,
pretty
but-
much.
Yeah.
The devs have implied, like I think multiple times, like, yeah, we want to put Timmy in the game, but there's reason, and they have NDAs, so they can't say specifically why. But it is generally speculated based on like research that the reason is there's some very weird international distribution rights with Timmy.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
crazy.
has it ever been like overcome in any capacity lately?
Timmy's like in a mobile phone tennis game, and I think the speculation is if it's an in-house Nick game project, Timmy tends to be less of a problem. But if it's like if Nick is giving the rights to their characters to a third-party studio to make something with those characters, then Timmy's like a much bigger issue to like deal with.
Mm.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
I wish
part of
Timmy
me-
was not allowed to be on Nickelodeon.
Okay, let's
Right,
make
you-
the wish come true.
Timmy tried to break the gob this time.
Timmy, I'm your dog. You can wish for things for me too. Whenever your godparents lose their wands or their wands get broken, you can use me. That's what I'm here for.
Why-
Except there are special dog rules, so sometimes you can't make wishes.
I really like, by the way, your like season 9 Cosmo voice where the voice actors lost it completely.
What I was just doing.
Yeah, he's like, okay, Timmy,
Oh.
you're really
Yeah,
messed up."
All right, I'm really tired, but this is pretty good money, and I'm having fun, even though I'm old. I still like doing it. I'm doing my best, But I hope you still enjoy.
This is awful.
Please stop dying. Cosmo, I'm going to nag you to life if you keep dying. Cosmo, cut down. Cosmo, Cosmo, Cosmo.
Who is that?
What?
We're in like the funhouse mirror
And
dimension.
then Crocker says, "Hello, Tutor. I'm in this episode
Oh,
now.
Tutor! Oh, oh,
I'm like
they're
your,
fairies.
I'm like
I
your,
see them now. I can see them in regular episodes, and it's like it's not that big a deal anymore.
Timmy Turner, Tom, meet my nephew, Kevin.
Kevin, he's a smaller version of me. His voice is the same, but it's slightly pitched up. Hello,
Hey, where's
it's me,
Coleman?
Kevin. I'm your nephew. I'm in Timmy's class now. This is the closest thing you can get to a new character.
sucks.
One of the adults shrunk down.
It sucks. This bit sucks.
If we play like opera music and do these voices, would he copyright strike us again?
Probably. Like
Yeah.
Guy Moon specifically would come after us.
I think
Yeah.
I think this roster, to me, to get back on topic,
Oh yeah, right.
has a better like balance of characters that are missing from like the original game's base roster. Because base roster for the first game, and some of these characters were added later in the first game, but like it didn't have Rocco, Jimmy, Jenny, or like LT Gray, for example. I think, yeah.
I thought No Jimmy was insane, honestly. Like,
Nick,
I'm not even like a huge Jimmy Neutron fan, but I was like, you're emitting the boy, the Turner.
Nick
Wait,
was,
no, that's the wrong one.
Mr. Jimmy Neutron Turner.
That's his full name. Yeah,
they're
combined
married.
names.
Yeah.
Nick was like weird about Jimmy Neutron for like a little bit. Like it was like not one of their promoted shows, but now it is again. I don't know.
Yeah,
Weird.
they've been very slow to move the needle for a while. Like the only like nostalgia shows they'd promote were like the '90s things.
And Zim, they were okay with Zim.
Yeah, I also think it's probably just the devs are more into the '90s stuff. I imagine.
Yeah,
heard
no, I
that.
mean it makes sense. Like I would totally understand that as a position to be
Yeah.
in.
I remember like
But I'm
the first game, the devs like said they were all real Monster fans specifically. So I think a lot of them are kind of on that older side.
mhm.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that we've branched out a bit. It's kind of like a good. It's nearly even, honestly, because I'm SpongeBob is kind of
The middle.
yeah,
It
it's
was
technically
very
90s,
late,
but
very late 90s though.
very late. I think
Yeah.
most of its popularity is, I think of like the 2000s, like,
Right, because it's with
yeah,
that
like
like
the movie and stuff.
it's with that Jimmy Neutron, Danny Phantom, Fairly Odd Parents
Right.
2000s game.
Yeah. So like considering that, yeah, it is a pretty good balance. I'm pretty fine with this. It's interesting. We didn't know like everyone who was going to be cut. So it's kind of funny how they just swapped in two different Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, they replaced the two from the last game with the two that weren't there at that time.
Yeah, that's kind of a fun
Oh, they're
idea. Just yeah.
I-
That's kind of a fun idea, just in terms of like getting to do a moveset for all of them. And I do like that a bit more than like I think if there were 4 turtles on here, that would have been a little overkill.
I think 2 is a lot already with these designs. Like specifically this
Right.
iteration of the characters.
I
Yeah.
think the problem with the Turtles, and I like the Turtles, like, I like that, I enjoy those guys, but I think with smaller rosters like this, if you have 4 of them, it does begin to. You can have all 4 Turtles when we almost double this roster. I think that's when we're okay with all 4 Turtles. I think.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Though it does kind of make it a little. I feel like the first game picked like
The 2 popular ones.
the 2 popular ones, and now we've got like, Raphael's pretty good.
I think Raph is pretty popular now.
Yeah. I mean, Donatello is fine too. I mean, it's
It's
just
like
kind of
the-
funny, like
The Solid Snake to Raiden transition.
Yeah.
right. Yeah, that's exact. I was actually about to say that too.
I think Donnie's the one the most that they use another version. I think would be like, oh yeah, he's popular in like other versions, but like I think classic Donnie isn't
Yeah.
particular. Like if they use like Rise Donnie or like Mutant Mayhem Donnie, like those are like popular versions of Donnie.
Yeah. I mean,
Mhm.
it'll be interesting if they add in those versions.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I would definitely tolerate all 4 if they were all from like a different iteration. That would be cool as hell. Actually,
Yeah.
we would like smash Ultimate Zelda characters.
That's something they considered. I think at some point, I know there was a reason it got vetoed or something, but like that was something they considered at some point.
Gotcha. I have a
Yeah,
lot of faith in the devs. I just know that they're working with a corporate entity that is kind
Right.
of like completely controlling. So like, no shade to the people actually making it. That's for sure.
I think it's like a miracle these dev like got Nick to let them put LT Gray in the game in the first place. Cause like that wasn't like one
Yeah.
of Nick's like approved nostalgia shows.
Mhm. That's getting an art book soon.
It is, which is
Hell
awesome.
yeah.
Pretty cool.
I
Oh,
I
so-
like the fact that they describe El Tigre as like if Min Min and Wolf had like a kid, which is like the
Who
perfect.
says that?
The devs. That's what Ryan told me.
The devs?
Yeah, Ryan told me that.
Oh, like move
Gameplay wise, yeah, he's a bit of like Min
I
Min
was
and Wolf.
thinking, I was
Like-
thinking something else. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
I think there's also a good amount of just like picks the devs thought were cool, kind of in here. Like Plankton in a mech feels like so specific of an idea, and I like that. Ember from Danny
That's perfect.
Phantom
I
feels like another
I
one
think
too.
the choice is such like, if Plankton got to choose what he'd be like in a fighting game, that's what he would do.
Yeah.
I just love that. The Beavers, have they? I think they. Were the Beavers revealed last time we were alive? I don't think they were.
No, they weren't. They're new too.
And that was one of the ones that I didn't guess, but I mentioned, right?
Yeah.
We did an episode where like I tried to guess all the leaked characters without looking at them.
You got Gerald right though. You did predict Gerald.
Did I?
Yeah, you did. I remember because like I told Don about Gerald ahead of time because I thought he would like to know. And you got Gerald right. The one you got wrong was Gertie. You said Eugene instead.
Okay. I think I did predict Ember too.
You did. You got Ember right.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah. I don't know. I don't remember what I said about the Angry Beavers, but that like kind of surprised me.
They're like I like them because they feel really inspired, like moveset wise. I love like they kind of have that Pyra, Mithra, Zelda, Sheik swapping out dynamic. But like the difference is like since there's two of them, like they'll have moves like the other one comes out and helps her a bit while the other one's out, and I think that's really neat.
Yeah, I guess that they're kind of like in this roster specifically, they kind of feel like the swap in for Cat Dog.
Yeah, the big rumor I heard with Cat Dog is that they were unbelievably hard to program for some reason. So like they were the ones they were always going to be on the chopping block for the sequel because like they would break every update. They were really hard to program. So it was, I think what I've heard it's like they were always early on the chopping block when they were making a sequel.
Huh. What was their like thing that would make that difficult?
They had a swapping stance thing. So like whoever it was like in front, quote unquote, were like they would like influence the moveset. Yeah,
they wouldn't flip around. They would just like walk left and right. Is that what they did?
Yeah, like they were kind of a stance change thing. Like Cat was like the quicker stance, and Dog was like the stronger stance. I think it was.
All right.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That Leo White thing set up my Nick All Stars game.
Yeah, but I guess Angry Beavers is a good enough like similar era kind of funny cartoon animal character pick.
Plus they're two brothers. So
two brothers. Yeah.
You think anyone's refusing to buy this game because Lincoln Loud got cut?
I think there's many people who are going to buy it just for that.
The opposite way.
True. I don't know. I don't know if anyone's that lame.
I had to wonder what the pitch meeting for that was like. And Nick was like, "Oh, yeah, that's fine." Because Nick is like weirder than you think they would. Because they were the ones who suggested Grandma Gertie in the first place. Like that was their idea. So I don't know. Were they cool with like, yeah, you can keep the sister, but get rid of the main guy. We don't care. Or if that was like a big debate thing.
I honestly, if I was a developer and corporate was like, yeah, include this like weird ass like character pick that you would have never considered, I would go, absolutely, Lord, let's do it.
That's what they said. That's what they said. Pretty much. Yeah, it was. They told us they want that, and like, yes, of course, we'll do it.
Like. You know, I imagine it's like Piranha Plant for me. Like, who in the fucking world wanted that? But like, absolutely, I'm glad you put it in. Like, like no qualms about it at all. Just I don't know why you suggested that.
Yeah, I think in the world of Hey Arnold, that's like, it's a pretty good pick because she's one of those like awesome like kicking butt grandmas.
And she's a Tress McNeil grandma. She's a Tress McNeil grandma.
Yeah, you gotta have one like kick butt Tress McNeil grandma character on your roster of like if you have like a cartoon fighting game. That just needs to happen. So glad you've rectified that.
It's gotta be part of it.
Yeah. I have no idea what the DLC is gonna be with.
I've heard some mumblings. I just want to say also real quick, I think Lincoln Loud specifically got cut because I know he was the single least popular character in the first game.
Diaper Attack.
I know like on Rolls in the Discord, for example, he had the least amount of mains. I know like this game's kind of small but dedicated competitive scene. He has basically no representation because no one wants to play as him. The older players, the older people. This game attracts a lot of like older people for the most part. Like I don't think this is like very much like appealing to nostalgia type kind of game. And none of them care. Lucy gets a pass because she's got a bit more of like an aesthetic to her, for example. She's got a gimmick in that. But Lincoln's like an annoying little boy.
Lincoln's like he's like a little boy, middle child. Like, you know, I feel like I'm a loser in this world. I'm the little kid stand-in. What is that? What is that? What is that supposed to be?
Lincoln Loud crying.
What? Papa Gino. Does Papa Gino's know the
Yes,
DLC? I'm hearing
people
in chat.
people know the DLC, and I've heard some
Okay.
rumblings that it is interesting. It has some interesting picks. I don't know if this part's true. There's rumors that it's no new series. It's only characters from the series that are already in the game, for example.
Okay.
My big one, if that is true, is I think Dib. I think they'll put Dib in.
I would love a
Weird
Dib
Dib.
pick. That sounds
Yes.
really funny, genuinely.
Zim! Bib! Zim!
That makes me wonder, like, which ones they would feel need more.
Like I said, I think Dib makes sense because Zim's one of the ones Nick likes to
Yeah.
push a lot, and Dib is like, I've heard he's not in. There's been like NPCs leaked for the game. We don't know them all, but like we haven't seen a trace of Dib yet, which is kind of suspicious. But I think Nick likes to tend to include a girl in these kind of pack things.
Girl
Like
character.
they're very much about like that kind of spreading representation out kind of thing. So I think we'll see. Like I thought about girl characters. I think it's possible they do another Loud Sister, which would be funny. But
Which one?
I
I
think
want it to be the comedy one.
that's
I want
usually
it to be the comedy Loud Sister.
that's usually the one people think. She's like the only
Really?
one that would like have a unique boost that is her. I've heard
Yeah.
Angelica because she's the baby that would be most realistic to put into a fighting game.
Okay.
Angelica Pickles the baby.
That could be fun.
The one I like the most though is I like people bring up Vexus from Teenage Robot a lot. I think that would be a good one.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
I'm really hoping for who's the tour guide episode they put in every new SpongeBob episode.
Oh, Ruben.
Yeah, Ruben from SpongeBob. He's got to be in.
Now, you know
I
who
think
I
it's just
want to
Rube.
see?
Rube Goldfish is his name. Okay. What do you want to see, Rosa?
Kappa Mikey.
Yes.
Oh, right.
That would actually be a god tier pick. I don't know. I would be really interested in it if it had Kappa Mikey.
Do you think
Yeah.
Nick wants people to know they own Kappa Mikey, or like are they ashamed of it? You think?
Listen. As much they should be a shame. At the same time, people don't care because he actually
Yeah.
just like Mikey
I
as
think
a
they don't
concept.
care. I don't think. It's kind of sad. Like, maybe just no one cares. You know.
No one cares about that.
I care.
I'm like looking at the roster. I definitely don't think Ren and Stimpy needs a second character. I think Angry
No.
Beavers, like, you're good with just the Angry Beavers. I'd be shocked if they pick another Thornberry's character because Nigel is kind of like just the one.
Do you
It's
think
like
they'd add
he's the
Heifer?
face of that entire gig.
Yeah.
Oh, Otis!
Garfield is like kind of on edge, but like I don't really know if like Odie or John would like be a fighting game.
They're
character.
No,
right.
get oh my god, I'm a fake Garfield fan. Who's John's girlfriend? The veterinarian?
Liz.
Liz, yeah, get Liz in there.
Wait, that'd be
That's
raw.
a
She
super
throws
pick.
dog cum at you.
Veterinarian moves.
She could throw cum. I think Jimmy Neutron.
Dog cum.
Whoa!
So lately.
I just processed what you just said.
I think Jimmy Neutron has a few options for a second character. I think like Carl or
Yeah.
Sheen could be funny, maybe.
Oh, imagine seeing
What
the
if-
vortex.
Would they include any Planet Sheen references in his
No.
moveset, do you think?
I think they should make Carl and Sheen like a Zelda Sheik situation.
Like,
No,
"Hi,
Or like
Carl
ice
and-
climbers.
it's your turn,
Carl
Sheen.
and Doppy.
Dumpy Planet
Yeah.
Sheen.
They should add Sheen. No, they should add Sheen to the roster and then Planet Sheen as a new series rep.
Sheen and
That's
Planet
what we-
Sheen.
Yeah.
I mean, you could just add in Sheen and give him like two different outfits, like hit regular Sheen and Planet
No,
Sheen.
you'd have Sheen and Planet Sheen. One would only use Ultra Lord moves, and the other would use like sci-fi and have like Dumpy in the moveset.
I think another Turtles character is pretty possible. I think like not
Okay.
not another turtle itself, but like I think one of the like villains or Casey Jones is pretty possible.
The bunny guy.
Yeah, the bunny guy or Casey Jones
Well,
or
I
Frank.
think Osami, I think that's his name. Usagi. Yeah.
Usagi
I,
Yojimbo.
no, I think that's more specific to like the Turtles because it's like in Turtles media since it's like not turtle owned.
It's
Yeah,
not
Usagi's like a guest character like permanently. from
Yeah.
what I know.
Oh,
He's from his own
really?
thing.
Yeah.
Avatar's another one. Oh, go on.
I was gonna say I like the suggestion of John being like a fighting by accident character because he could totally pull off like an Isabel type beat. I
Oh,
think that's
yeah.
what it was.
I hope he goes like, okay, Garfield, I'm going out today. I'm gonna be fighting Nick Brawl. You stay home.
Garfield.
Garfield show, John.
Now,
yeah.
one thing I want to say: if she was in there, his final smash would be him grabbing up the player, his opponent, and then throwing him into a plane.
What?
Oh,
Because there's like
the planet
as
sheet.
a planet. Yes.
You know the one where like he throws Carl into the plane in Planet Sheen?
Oh, like at
Yeah.
a plane.
Yeah.
Okay. I remember that. Okay. Yeah.
Avatar feels like another pretty likely one to get another one because like there's just like a million
Yeah.
options you could choose from.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can do so many characters from Avatar. Like it's such an easy pick. Like no matter what, you get like a slam dunk basically.
Yeah,
Mine would be Sokka though. I think.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I think that'd be
absolutely.
neat to have like a non-bending.
that'd be cool.
Sokka would be like the Solid Snake.
That would be so sick. I'm just imagining the exact same animations with Sokka.
Yes, same here.
And they get the 11 guy from the Garfield show in the game.
What's 3 + 8? I'm assuming that's the old man who gives the answer.
Of course.
You know about that, right, Pumpkin? You've seen the Garfield show, I assume.
Yeah, I'm a Garfield show expert. I know exactly what you're talking about.
What episode is it from?
Oh, she left. Oh,
Darn
she.
it.
Oh,
Hello.
I'm not gonna watch. Why'd you spell?
take your time.
Ugh. No, I gotta. It's okay. I'll sit here wet for the rest of the show.
Yeah, we ran out of hair
Oh.
dryers.
You think Zeus the
I-
Guitar Lord is possible?
Hi, I'm Zeus, the Guitar Lord. Maybe. If Nick owns the rights to.
Yeah.
I think they should just add someone they don't even have the rights to. They should just do it.
Yeah,
should put
screw
Mickey-
it. Don't tell the home company.
Put Mickey Mouse in.
Yeah.
just put- yeah.
Don't tell anyone. Just put Mickey in. See how long it takes.
Put Michael Mouse in there and see what they do.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts before we move on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They should put a snap and he plays like a Game & Watch character.
It'd be
That
pretty
would be
cool.
actually-
I think
That'd be awesome.
that's been suggested a lot. Yeah, that's an idea people have.
Which character?
Snap from Chalk Zone.
Oh my god, that would be sick. Actually, that would be so hype.
Uh-huh.
Pen the human. Yeah, they should put him in.
Human. Not Jake can't be there because he's have a different name. Only Pen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all see the
What?
trailer for the new Disney movie Wish? I want to talk about the goat.
Oh, the goat was so funny, dude. Oh my god, dude. When that goat started talking, I was like, what? That's not what goats sound like.
I hate the
That's
goat.
crazy.
You hate the goat?
I think the goat makes me upset because, like, I think
You
maybe
sound like a hater right now.
we as
Everyone, you hear what she's saying about your goat?
we as like a society tend to put Disney like on a higher standard, maybe because like they're like the animation company, and like the goat to me is like a character who would be like in a Z tier DreamWorks movie, like the cute things are like what my voice.
Yeah, that's a very like
I
Barbie DVD movie character.
think that movie looks like it's not rendered yet. Like I don't care how often I get shown 4K screen caps where it like looks good. I don't think it does.
No, I've watched the 4K trailer and I agree. I think it makes a bit more of a difference. Like you can see the outlines a bit more and some of the details, but the backgrounds still look like they just kind of have a filter over them. A lot of the scenes I think like the scenes in the forest I think look fine. Like any scene like in the kingdom looks like is the movie not finished?
It looks like
Uh-huh.
it looks like a parody of a Disney movie if they put like a lot of work into it for like a gag on a show to me. Like
Yeah,
it doesn't seem like a real movie to me.
I've got a feeling that too. I feel like this is, I don't know if it's the first, but it's like, I feel like it's the first notable time where I've really like seen a Disney movie coming out, and I feel like it just feels really stock for some reason.
It's like they asked a computer to write like give us a Disney plot and they're like, oh, the wishes.
Yeah. And I mean, it's not like a right. And like, I don't know. There's some elements like this is the first like Disney movie with like an advertised villain. It seems.
Mm.
Usually they don't do that a
The
lot.
bar is in
anymore.
the floor, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. An
Guys, this time
advertised
there's a
villain
dude and
that's
he's mad at the main character.
There's a
Oh,
bad guy in this one, and he's bad the whole time.
Yeah, classic villain.
He's just kind of mad. He's just kind of mad at the main girl. Yeah, I feel hard sometimes, like talking about these kind of movies, like, and not thinking they look very good because I know how much goes into them. I know the work.
Oh, yeah.
I know, and sometimes that makes it hard when like a product comes out and you know how hard it is, you know how much effort is being put into it, and like you just think, oh man, this doesn't look like it's coming together for me, guys. Like personally,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like the plot is like very just like I think they wanted to be safe because like it's their 100th anniversary thing, so it's like gotta be like a very Disney movie. But I think that makes it a bit uninteresting. The animation, like people have described it like this, I think it's pretty apt. It feels like Daisy. Disney's like tipping their pinky toe into like the water of like stylized 3D animation, but like still being very much in the Disney zone and not going too far.
Yeah, I think it's the fact that they're not committing at all is what makes it look so like bland to me.
Yeah.
It looks very like streaming movie. Like I feel
Yeah.
like
Okay,
Nimona looks better rendered
Yeah.
in this entire movie.
my thing is like when the trailer first dropped, I thought it looked like a like Disney Junior, like really well made Disney Junior show.
Yeah. I've been feeling that really hard. I think especially with the character designs. They've showed like a group shot of like the main like protagonist trio. Not trio, it's like a whole group of
Fellas.
beautiful, diverse characters. Yeah. And they just look very it really feels I guess kind of stagnant, like with the current because Disney has kind of their style they have with how they render and model like their CGI characters, like after Rapunzel. They've had a very clear, consistent style. And on one hand, I don't think that's bad necessarily, but it feels very much like lunchboxy. Like it feels like they know they have a mold and they're like they don't want to go outside of that, and it feels very restricted. I guess it doesn't feel exciting.
I think after seeing Mutant Mayhem in particular, like that one, like seeing humans in that art style, it's like, okay, I think I kind of expect more now from like 3D human looks. And even like something a bit closer to the style, like even like Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, which is going for like I tend to use that movie as kind of my base point for discussion on this one because I think they're going for kind of similar things artistically. And I feel like a dork doing that because Puss in Boots was like the animation movie everyone talked about all the time for a bit, but like I think they're both going for like that watercolor painter-y aesthetic, but like Puss in Boots really indulged itself in that. Like a lot of like the human characters you see look very weird and different from each other. They're a bit ugly, which I think is cool. Like when characters can be a bit ugly looking. It's hard not to look at this and be like, okay, I see what you're going for, but we kind of have stuff that's doing this too, and maybe exceeds you a bit.
Yeah, I guess it's like it's not like with unstylized quotation marks. It's animation, it all is, but like with the way like the standard stock 3D animation, Disney's just really good at it. Like it doesn't excite me, but they're very good at it. So like when they try to dip their toe into something that isn't what they're good at, suddenly they have a lot of competition because we know like 4 or 5 movies that are doing it way better, like off the bat.
Yeah.
I don't even say the same like from like their sister studio Pixar. I feel like even something like Turning Red, like Luca, offered more of an interesting look to it. Like there's like weird, fun shaped characters in those. Like they're not like too extreme, but like they're like different enough in a good, interesting way for me to be able to like enjoy them artistically more.
I mean, you look at like Soul. That's a movie that has a very distinctive like I don't know philosophy with its designs.
Everyone's been exaggerated and stuff.
Yeah, and it doesn't look exactly like any different particular movie.
Yeah.
I think with this movie, it's really I could feel like this pressure of like like a corporate pressure of having to stay within a certain framework.
Right.
Yeah.
That it
Yeah, it
just
has like a
feels.
chokehold on this movie's looks.
Yeah, I think it's really holding it back, which is a shame. I think it's trying to be, it's falling into that problem of trying to be, I guess, as palatable as possible. That what it reminds me the most of is merchandise,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
just not a very, it's not very exciting. That's mundane. Like it's gotten to that point where like the Disney style kind of, it just reminds me of like little kids
It's
like,
weird because I
backpacks.
never felt that way about Encanto before it was like coming out. Even like
No,
I never
didn't
felt that
either.
way about Encanto, and then I saw Encanto and I thought it was great. But there's something about this one. I don't know why. Just something about this one is giving me that vibe like immaculately.
Maybe it is just because it's the 100th anniversary. Like they're very afraid.
They're playing it
Maybe-
so safe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe it is just that. Like they don't want to risk anything
I
on this
think
because they
the
want.
thing about it is that, like, these character design also lacks like any sort of distinct features or like outfits or anything else. Like,
Yeah, can we? Do you have the picture of like
Oh, the one with
all the
like
characters?
they're all crossing their arms. Let me find
Yeah,
it.
they're looking awesome and they're smiling and they look very marketable and palatable.
I have to find
They're
it.
looking epic.
That's a good example of like
I
somehow with like diverse character designs, it still looks stagnant. You know?
Yeah. I said this on Twitter, like my side account. It's weird, and I feel bad saying this. There's something about the Disney style that you can have a group of like diverse characters with all sorts of shapes and skin colors and backgrounds, and they all just kind of they somehow don't feel very diverse. If that makes sense,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like they're exaggerating things in a very safe way. Like they still have to be appealing.
Yeah.
And in real life, like and especially in stylized art, not everybody looks appealing. I mean, like that's just how real life is. I think it's a fact that I'm perfectly okay with. And Disney animation like doesn't seem to jive with that.
I get it. I said this again like earlier. Seeing Mutant Mayhem, like the Turtles movie, that was like really proud of like being kind of weird and ugly looking with like humans. Like everyone in that movie like looks like an exaggerated stylized version of like someone I've seen before.
Yeah,
which I
like
think is
I've
cool.
seen those people. Like those are real. I know those dudes, but like I don't know anybody who looks like the people
It's
in
like-
Wish.
I think someone said it best. It's like when with police sketches, like instead of being more accurate to like the person, they exaggerate it a bit, and it may look like off-putting, but it makes people like recognize like suspects better.
Yeah, I mean that's even the thing with just like animation and cartooning. It's like finding the features to like heighten, but it still feels authentic on an emotional level.
I've
Yeah.
And
I've really grown to like in my art in particular to like appreciate maybe the ugliness or like the weirdness or like things that are off about people. That's something that's I've really kind of grown to like in my art a bit more, and I've been thinking about that a bit more. Like when I make my own things, like my own characters in particular, I like them being a little off and like not perfect looking. I think that's like I've grown to really appreciate, for example, like a lot of the '90s Nick aesthetic, like Rugrats and Rocco. Like everyone's kind of ugly and
Yeah.
weird looking. I think there's a very cool earnestness to that. Even like some like older adult cartoons, like early Simpsons or like Mission Hill. I really like that. Here's I found the picture also of them all standing there looking beautiful. And
yeah.
I think that kind of everyone is very beautiful traditionally. But maybe they're a little weird, like the male characters will have big noses, kind of thing. They
That's
also-
as much as we get.
They still have beautiful eyes. I think that
Yeah.
has fallen off a bit to me in appeal.
Oh man,
Mhm.
these are just like the same person, but they like stretch the different heights. They like
feel like
swapped
I've
a
seen-
couple colors.
I've seen each of these individual designs. I feel like in a different Disney movie. Like that's
Yeah.
that's the T.J. Miller character from Big Hero 6.
Literally, that's him.
In the back.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
also looking at like their outfits, and it's so plain and indistinguishable. And like when you compare it to like Encanto, it's like
Right.
night and day. Like the outfits in Encanto makes it more distinct. They're all like even if it's like not as extreme or as varied, they have like still distinctive parts to their hairstyle, to their ears, to the way everything like it's emphasized. Like
Mhm.
one guy will be in the most plainest clothing, but like it feels just right. It sticks out,
Mm-hmm.
and
I
it's like
you continue.
I was gonna
Apologies.
say, it's kind of like them like it's just lack of a knowledge of like not only is like the body shape and the appearance is there, but it needs the clothes to like complement it too.
Yeah.
To point it out.
Yassified dwarves.
Oh my god.
You're so right. Oh man.
Yeah, I don't know. Here's the thing. I was kind of hard on Elemental before it came out, and I will say that movie got badly advertised. I think they hit the interesting part of that movie. I still like, thought it was okay. So I'm sure when this comes out, I'm going to see it and think it's okay. But I think it is kind of another like hitch in that discussion we've had about like Disney Pixar stuff and like how animation's evolving. I think a lot of people like animation's evolving, what we could do with the mediums evolving. And sometimes Disney and Pixar to some extent could feel a bit like safe and stagnant. And people like that. There's definitely I think for outside of animation circles like us, that people still like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I think for more art focused people like us, it is something we are beginning to get tired of, and we're a lot of people are looking other places. I think Disney, Pixar to some extent are losing a bit of appeal for like older animation art weirdos like us.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's what's Turning Red is still like a great like hit for me, especially artistically, because like that's something that took influence from like what was it called?
Like gag mangas, I think is what you're
Yes,
looking for.
gag manga specifically, and it's just really beautiful. And I'm like also thinking about like bad guys and how like what was the officer lady name voiced by Lois Griffin?
Oh, the officer lady from the Bad Guys.
Yes, she's also like the most apparent aspect of that, especially like being inspired by Zenyatta.
Yeah, like I don't know. We're seeing a lot of we're mostly talking about Western animation here right now. Like, there's a lot of the discussion becomes even bigger when you're including stuff else. The animation world is huge, but right now we're mostly talking about Western right now, just for the sake of conversation. Even like DreamWorks and Sony and other studios, even like Nimona, just like that kind of studio. We're seeing a lot of inspirations from new places, new concepts. Like Bad Guys is very Italian comics and like Lupin inspired, for example, like we were just saying there. And Disney feels very still in their ways. Movie will be okay.
I guess,
yeah.
They feel like inspired by themselves, I guess.
They're a company that loves to pat themselves on the back, like, remember your favorite childhood movie
from the director of Chicken Little.
Your parents love this movie.
Okay,
like your grandma saw this when she was a little girl.
Steve, do you want to talk about the short before this movie real quick? Also, that you said you thought looked stupid.
I mean, I don't know. What is there to say? Once Upon a Studio is a new like Disney short that it's all the Disney characters, but they're crossing over. You can see all these Disney characters in the same like area. You've never seen that before.
The dinosaur from Dinosaurs is there.
Well,
I will say I've never seen.
I can respect that cut.
Yeah, I've never seen the dinosaur from Dinosaurs and the Love Monkey ever crossover. I will give you that. But like, they released like a trailer thing for that. It looks to be some of the most substantial 2D animation from like Disney of that level, like ever.
Because they fired most of their 2D animators.
Since they fired most of their 2D animators, and it looks so like, I don't know. I guess it's just the ultimate like self-important. I just got distracted by this picture. What is this?
The Love Monkey? Oh,
no.
Wait, what is this?
Is he calling?
That's Water Guy.
That's Wade.
Are you cool if I put this on screen so people can see?
Yeah, go for it. I sent it. Sorry, for context to this image, I went to go see Barbie because my college has like a movie night where they like show stuff every like Monday, and we were gonna go see Barbie, but it got canceled last minute because it's still doing well in theaters. So they were like, "We're showing Elemental instead," and we were like all ready to see Barbie. So we just like sat at a table and like talked about Wade, and I got a picture of me holding up Wade and like pogging.
I love talking.
And the only thing I can think, I meant to say this earlier, so sorry that I'm bringing you back to Elemental, but the only thing I really care about Elemental is that my mutual Fern Snail said that I want to I want to use Wade as Vaughn Water, and that's all I can think of.
Oh my god.
That's the only thing I ever care about Elemental is those two instances.
It's hard with Disney because I think to some extent it's easy to like kind of dislike art, be harder on them because there's a lot of like outside the art things with them sometimes. Like, you know, they're kind there's, you know, every corporation's evil, but Disney's like kind of like the evil corporation a lot of the time.
Okay, right.
Yeah,
they
have been saying that for years.
They buy up a lot of studios, they ruin jobs, they're not allies in the LGBT community at all. And sometimes that affects your opinion on their movies, which I think it's hard. It's like I don't want to be unfair to the artists that work on these movies because they're not part of that. Like they're getting, like their Disney's choices outside of that is affecting them. I think sometimes that will make me or other people be maybe a little extra negative towards them. But on the flip side, and I hate to, you know, the approach is on for like the artists working on Disney movies because you're working for like the biggest studio of animation ever. Like you guys are like the ones people think of when they think of cartoon animation movie stuff. And it's in the modern times we're in, and I don't know how much like Disney higher ups are affecting the art they're allowed to make. It's hard like when they're like supposed to be the main guys, feel impressed with them as the main guys right now at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just I'm a hater, so
Amen.
But yeah, you make a very good point. I do feel for the artists whenever I have this happen, but at the same time, it's like I don't want to just like let it slide.
No, yeah, that's the hard thing. It's like it's half like artists put into unfair position, half you guys are the big animation studio. I'm gonna be critical of what you make.
Yeah, that's kind of why I prefer like. I mean, let's talk about Turning Red again. I think Turning Red and Luca are really good examples of just.
Oh yeah.
They feel unbothered by the pressure that is on them being a part of like the Disney brand. I feel.
I like when Pixar in particular makes movies that feel like they're built from someone's experiences rather than like Lightyear or whatever that was. I think like I didn't love Elemental, but it has that too. Like it feels like a movie that was built from someone's experiences in life, like as like an immigrant. And like, you know, Turning Red was based off like someone's experience growing up. Luca was very clearly based off the experience of someone who lived in like an area like that. And I like when they make movies like that because I think that's what they're good at. And I think it makes the movies feel a bit more personal and real to me.
Yeah. I guess I will see like what the box office says, I guess, but I mean I feel like that's kind of a key to longevity in these kind of things. Like I feel like if we don't, some of the best like Disney movies, for example, are not like them just doing what they've always done, right?
Yeah.
Like now you think of the Disney Renaissance, and that was kind of like a really
bold
new
thing at the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's easy to like not think that now because like they're like the stock Disney movies, but at the time they were very bold. And even going into like 2000s a bit, like Lilo and Stitch is like really unique as a movie for Disney.
Oh yeah.
Like that's not really like anything they were making at the time. You have like The Emperor's New Groove, which is kind of like weird and crazy. Even stuff like Treasure Planet or Atlantis is kind of more like dark horse niche ones. I think have an audience now because like they're not a lot like any other thing Disney has made.
Yeah, and I mean it is a risk, but you gotta do that sometimes. I don't really know who I'm speaking to right now. I mean, this is the people deciding on these.
I was gonna make a joke and say they have to make a Goofy movie. It's like no, wait, they made that already. It's their best one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember, I think my favorite thing about the Goofy movie is that like that movie had implemented something to like black culture that in Atlanta they made an alternate history saying that Disney made the blackest movie ever and it was the Goofy movie.
Yeah, if you want a good movie, video about Goofy movie, I always recommend it. Tunerific Tyreek made a fantastic video about
Yes,
that movie.
it's
I always recommend
genuinely
it.
beautiful.
My friend my one of my co-writers in a lot of my projects, JJ, apparently one of his professors in film school worked on Emperor's New Groove, and
Oh
like
my god.
they were so hyped when they realized they could just stop making a regular ass Disney movie. Like they were like just going through the motions, and then they were like, what if we just made a weird ass like comedy? And they were like, yeah, what if we did? Why don't we?
I imagine that had to be refreshing a bit after like a while of making very like traditional Disney movies.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I just the like chains breaking off as you get to write like a like Kronk, you know.
They should
Yeah,
do it
Kronk is
again.
incredible.
They should just
Kronk
make another one like that.
Kronk has done so much for that guy's career. I don't know why I'm blanking on his name.
Patrick
right now.
Warburton.
Yeah, Patrick Warburton.
Yeah.
He I think he owes a lot to Kronk. That wasn't his first role, but I feel like that was like after that, like the cartoon voice acting floodgates opened for him, I feel.
Yeah. He realized he could get paid to do the one voice, and he does it so well. He does it so well.
And Peter.
Yeah, Peter, Peter, it's me, your mama.
I think
Oh
it.
my god.
When's the last time we don't get a lot of like pure comedy animated movies anymore? I'd say like Bob's
I don't think
Burgers.
we don't get pure comedy movies like in general.
In general,
anymore.
yeah. Bob's Burgers is like the last like animated movie I remember watching in theaters that was like really a comedy. I love that. That was great. I think I don't know. Be interesting to see a studio really go for, because like Hotel Transylvania, I guess, was kind of the last bastion of just like cartoon funny movie.
Yeah, I mean, Minions counts, right? Those are
yeah.
those are
Well,
built
if you had a
on the
gun to my
comedy.
head, yeah.
I mean, your mileage may vary depending a lot on your age.
No,
but-
the last one was Angry Birds 2, which is my favorite movie.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
We should watch it together, dear.
I think everyone should watch Angry Birds 2.
Mhm.
I think Angry Birds should be in the new Yakuza game.
Oh yes,
What
There's a lot
about
of-
love it.
Awesome
there's a lot-
Theory Legend of Hank?
I mean, there's a lot of funny movies, just in general. There's a lot of funny movies, but I think comedy specifically is just like
Yeah.
it's driven by the humor. I think a lot of it's like you gotta like you gotta like decorate it with something else. Like MCU movies are not like comedies, even though they're very
Joke.
reliant on jokes.
Mm.
That's not what you go there for necessarily.
Isn't that kind of Illumination thing in general? Sometimes Despicable Me is that. I don't know if I would say their other movies are like strictly comedies. Like the Mario movie had like 3 jokes in it.
Yeah, I don't think Sing. I don't know if I'd call Sing really.
Yeah,
Sing's more like a
just a song
No, it's kinda-
movie.
A musical.
yeah. It's just songs. That's all it is. I guess it'd be good to have comedy cartoon movies that appeal to higher than the 6 to 11 bracket. Higher than 6 to 11 or their parents.
What if there was food and
Food?
yeah,
Well,
and-
wait, hold on. Wait, no, let's back up. Is the food the food is characters, you're saying?
The food's
Yeah, the
characters.
It's
Food
anthropomorphic food characters.
and
Okay.
what if they had sex?
Oh my god.
Giggity,
This person-
giggity, goo.
This person in chat is right. The Dogman movie will be our next like huge like funny comedy animated movie.
There's a Dogman movie? Wait, actually, hold up.
Yeah, they're making DreamWorks is making a Dogman movie.
Like the Dave Pilkey like?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what?
Oh no way.
Sony's
No
making,
way!
Sony's making that movie with Gendy that's gonna be a comedy mostly for adults.
Oh, with the balls. The
We'll see how
movie.
we'll see how that turns out. The
Dog
concept
balls.
worries me a bit because it seems a bit lame.
They
but
just released a dog comedy too, like an adult dog comedy that was live action. Did you see that?
no.
Yeah, why would he do that? Like, why would he willing to do that?
I don't know. It's maybe they heard about the Gendy movie and wanted to get a leg up on them.
Any final thoughts on Wish?
No.
No.
All right, this will be a
yeah.
brief one because I think only me and Seep have seen most of this. This most recent run of Futurama season 1A Oh, they're gonna call it season
11.
1, but it's season 1A. Don't believe
Well,
them.
it's season 11.
Oh, season 11A. Don't believe them when the next
Yeah.
season
Well,
is
it's
season
technically
12.
like season 7A.
Yeah, it's a whole
Yeah.
Futurama's weird seasons because like there's 4 movies and each of those count as their own season. Technically, it's a whole thing.
The Hulu stuff. The Hulu crap.
Yeah. The most recent run ended, and I think it was actually pretty good. Compared to the Comedy Central run, which I think faltered a lot. I think this one was consistently a bit better, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. I enjoyed it. I don't know what the consensus is really. I imagine it's like positive to mixed.
Here's what I'll give you. Johnny Two Cellos from YouTube.com. He says he likes it and thinks it was worthy to bring Futurama back. I saw a thumbnail from Mr. Enter that said the new Futurama is terrible. So that's the,
There you go.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I could get that. I think it does in some areas fall into like when the Comedy Central run like started. I feel like they wanted to do a lot of like
modern.
let's get like the topical stuff out of the way, just like what happened while we were gone, and this does fall into that. But I will say, like, I think they're a little better, like more consistent. I guess consistently better. Like, I liked the Amazon episode. I think that was a pretty good.
That's a good one. Yeah, but then like
Yeah.
the COVID one, I was really rooting for because I feel like you could do an interesting sci-fi future, like getting sickness kind of story. But no, it's every single COVID pot joke you've ever heard ever kind of episode, and I was really disappointed.
I didn't even watch that one.
It's maybe a bottom 5 episode of the show, to be honest.
Yeah, I heard Johnny Two Cellos didn't like it, and I was just like, I don't want to be let down right now, so I just didn't watch it. But although all the other ones I watched, they range from like decent to like pretty darn good. Like I think
the best
there's a few that are like I think really strong.
Yeah, the Bender and Zoidberg episode I think is like top tier Futurama to me. I think that's one of their strongest episodes, like in general. I think it's just constant, like really fucking funny, like jokes. I that's a really good character pairing too. Maybe the hardest I've laughed at a cartoon in a hot minute is there's a scene where like they're trying to drown Robot Santa, and like they put weights on him, and then Bender just draws a 0 on the weights to like try to get them more weight. And Zoidberg's just like, it's not working.
That was a really like stupid funny joke. Like adding on to that too, like Bender takes the weights from inside of him while he's on top of Santa. So like they were already being weighed down by them implicitly.
Yeah.
So that's just an extra. Yeah, that one was just like really good. Thank you for the fix it, Felix, on the stream.
Yeah.
I think the finale episode too was a really like.
Yeah.
That feels. I think in my head that feels just kind of like. That's such a like classic like. I don't know. Futurama does episodes sometimes where they just explore one specific concept.
Right, and this one was like the whole is reality an illusion thing. They did it really interestingly, and like the meaning of like, well, if reality's illusion doesn't matter, you know, we feel real and everything is real to us. Kind of interesting discussions on that. I liked that was a good one. There's some really high highs, but a couple of like low lows, and I think my overall opinion, I'm gonna wait on until season like. The second part of the season that they're going to advertise that the new season comes out. And I hope they've gotten the more topical. Not all the topical ones are bad. Like I thought the crypto one was surprisingly pretty decent. In a fun setting, a lot of good jokes, and a Bender cowboy is cool. I hope a lot of those are out of the way now, though. We get a lot of those more fun sci-fi plots.
Yeah. I'm overall like. It does have its faults, but I think for a show that was canceled for as long as it was, and that already has as many episodes as this one does, I think it did come out like pretty good. Like I think we're in for more good episodes if they keep this trajectory. Like I also think like they've got new writers, and I think that's usually. I don't know if that's always good, but
I mean, a new writer wrote the Bender and Zoidberg one, which is my favorite
really?
of the set. So I think I don't know. That's a good sign.
In this case, it seems like it's paying off. It's sort of giving like you can get like a fresher perspective while also still maintaining what makes the show good.
And then David X. Conan, who is Futurama alumni, really like one of the main guys of the show. He wrote the last episode of this season, which makes sense.
Oh, okay.
And then there's a couple like original Fox run writers returning the next set of episodes too, which will be interesting. Like the person who wrote the like kind of like the one with all the boxes, the writer for that is returning, and then like the person who wrote the Leela finds her parents episode, they're returning for an episode too. So like I'm interested to see that. There's a good mix of like the really good old guard and like new voices I'm excited to see. That second season, the second part of the season is I'm interested to see, because I think we've gotten some of the maybe lame episodes out of the way, and we can move on to like maybe some of the more interesting ones.
I have faith in them. I feel like maybe some people might be down on them just for their worst moments. There are like a few snapshot moments that you can like take out of context and be like, this is the Shyamalan joke. I think is like one of the worst jokes. For some reason they did like an M. Night Shyamalan reference, and that feels outdated now, and it like doesn't make sense in like a future setting. It's not. That was weird. That was a weird joke. But I mean, yeah. Overall, I think I'm looking forward to the next set that they do, and I wonder how they'll end this show a fifth time.
They'll probably just shoot someone in the
show
head.
is like a zombie.
It's like, it's weird. I think we've definitely talked about this, how it's so weird for a show to get canceled and then brought back so many times. It's like, it's like to the network. Like, do you like it or not? Do you want this here or not?
Is in the perfect middle. Like, if you lined every single animated show ever up, Futurama is in the perfect middle of niche enough to not be a major huge hit, but like popular enough not to be too niche. So I think that's why it keeps happening.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess if you haven't seen any of it, I think I can recommend most of it. There's like maybe a couple that you don't need to watch, but
you can skip the COVID episode.
Yeah, absolutely. That was really boring.
But I liked the Mamazon episode. I liked finale and the Christmas episode. Those are good ones. I mean, Christmas coming up in a couple months. Get the family.
I'll have to watch the Christmas episode in September.
Yeah.
One last final news topic before we go into patron questions.
Sure.
Oh wait, how long have it been?
2.5.
Oh,
it's been like 3.
So
almost.
no, what we watch a scene.
We can squeeze that in maybe.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I also got big news.
The last set of Fiona and Kate came out, and we're not gonna go too into spoilers because Punkit hasn't seen the last.
I can just leave for like a couple
don't worry,
minutes.
don't worry about it. I think we'll be fine.
Oh, okay.
Wait, I need to say something.
Yeah.
This is a spoiler thing. Can you leave for like 5 seconds?
Yeah, 1 second.
All right.
Okay, say it.
I want Hunter.
That's not a spoiler. Okay. They're in the first episode of the show.
All right, tell me to come back. I want that damn pussy. Okay.
Okay.
Rosa didn't even say
loudly eating Cheez-Its.
Rosa didn't even say a spoiler. She just mentioned a character who appears in the first episode of the show and said they want their pussy. Yeah, Fiona Hunter, yeah.
Good guess.
I thought he was a butch lesbian the first time I saw that episode.
I'm just saying,
Straight
have they said Hunter's pronouns anywhere? They don't say.
I don't think they've said anywhere.
Now remember, Hunter's Hunter is voiced by like a non-binary actor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
anything's possible.
Yeah, I don't think.
Listen, the only Valley he and Hunter is in the transgender mask kind of way.
Look, I paid attention to this. Like whenever Hunter appeared, because they're in the last few episodes.
You went into pronoun mode.
I went into pronoun mode, to see if anyone oh, there they are, there he is. Whatever happens, nobody ever refers to Hunter with any pronouns. I'm just saying.
Yeah. The choice is yours.
I
I
can
think-
absolutely see them going with Hunter being non-binary in that show.
Yeah, I want to say, sort of on this topic, I really like how, like, I guess the spin-off era of Adventure Time has been casting a lot of trans people. Which I just
Yeah,
think
baby, let's go.
Yeah, because
I just think it's nice.
Testament's
That's
voice
what I'm
actor does Scarab, the other example.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
so sick. Yes.
And we already mentioned the Lemon Grab as a
Like,
trans voice actor.
yeah.
There was a non-binary character in the Peppermint Butler
That's right.
Wizard
Yeah.
Kitty episode,
The one who didn't die.
the one who didn't die, and made a cameo in this show. I'm just
Yeah.
remembering.
I think Adventure Time, cool, just like the matter thing. It's like very casually LGBT gay kind of
Yeah.
now. It's kind of earned that right because it was one of the early adopters with like the bubblegum Marceline stuff. Like they were one of like
Yeah.
the early ones.
Mhm.
I'm glad they've been able to like now that especially now that they have that mostly adult audience, they can be very casually gay in a lot of
Yeah.
ways. Like
Yeah, it feels
Yeah.
like I really like the Gary and Marshall like romance they've
Mhm.
done. It's a really great like thing they just get to do, just
I
normal.
thought they were gonna do it on the table.
Okay.
well, even just stuff like when like Cake yells kiss each other and then like Ice Snow Prince is like, don't think I wasn't thinking it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Snow Prince was so great.
Yeah.
That fruit.
This means Hunter's
This means
Wizard is
Hunter's
also
Wizard.
non-binary.
I mean, I would honestly. Hunter's Wizard lives in the woods. Like, I feel like at this
We're
point,
all
like, gender's
non-binary
not really a
people, so.
question.
I think Finn, if Hunter Wizard like told, if Huntress Wizard told Finn what being non-binary is, he'd be like, "Whoa, that's cool."
I mean, I like Fiona blushes when she gets kissed by PB in that one thing.
She does,
So, like,
yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
I feel like that casually also confirms that Finn is also probably bi. Like,
Maybe.
I think Finn
Maybe.
gives me the vibe of someone. I think a lot of the Adventure Time world is kind of chill with stuff like that. Like
yeah,
I think if you told like Jake what being like transgender was, he'd be like, "Whoa, dude,
mathematical.
Whoa.
that is math."
If I told somebody I was transgender and they said that was mathematical, I'd be like, all right, I don't care what kind of person you are, that rules. I'm with you.
Oh.
So I'm just thinking about somebody telling Jake they're transgender. Just, math, dude. It's like one of his kids comes out to him like, "Whoa, that's math."
No, he'll tell. No, he probably knows like a lot of trans people. He,
I
you
imagine.
know that post where where a guy goes on a date with a woman and you're like going well, and then the guy comes and says, "Oh yeah, I'm bisexual," and then she goes on tweeting about like how we need to normalize straight people again. Like,
What?
you know the post I'm talking
Oh,
about?
and then
I
Jake's
know
know.
exactly what you're talking about.
and then Jake's in the Discord call with a bunch of weird transsexuals playing as a guy in the game named like the Glumbler, and he's like, "Ha, look at me, I'm the Gumbler."
Yes!
Guys, I'm the Glumbler. He like TV would be like, "Hey, Dad, I think I'm maybe not a guy," and he'd be like, "Whoa, cool."
That's math.
You think Jake ever helped someone with their bottom surgery? Top or bottom?
Jake
I
like
feel like Jake probably performed top or bottom surgery at some point.
Jake is like
Jake would hear about bottom surgery and think it's about butts.
He would.
Oh,
He would.
cool. Hey, check out my bottom surgery, and he'd make his butt really big.
You said you need a packer? I can do that.
Oh.
somebody would say like they're the queen of the tuck in front of Jake, and he'd be like, "Whoa, that's cool."
From the Tuck Kingdom.
I think Finn would be like, I can tuck too.
you do like a little roll.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
really entranced by the idea of the characters like they're allies, but they don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Oh, that's
I think that's everyone in
Yeah.
the Adventure Time world. I just don't think they know what any of this stuff means, but they know it's math.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like, it's just really funny to me to be like, well, I don't know what LGBTQ is, but I think you should be able to kiss women. That's cool.
Adventure Time has kind of explored this even before, because the BMO episode Football has like a lot of like kind of, because the trans writer wrote it. There's like a lot of like kind of stuff you can read into with that.
Oh wait, really? A trans writer wrote Football? That's
Yeah, it's
makes
Lyle
no sense.
Parker. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's we were talking last night while we were playing Kirby
Mm.
about how like some people. I don't want to talk about this too much because this makes me mad. Like some people like, I don't know, think the show like it's like the whole Rebecca Sugar conspiracy that like
Mm.
they made the show like woke non-binary or whatever. But no, I think it's just I think there's just a lot of like LGBT just people involved with the show.
Yeah.
I don't know if Hannah Kay is, but I feel like I don't know. She's a little too invested in Bubbling for me to think she's straight. That's just that's just my I don't know. But yeah, it just feels like it feels casual in a sense that I feel like that's how like LGBT people include such elements.
Yeah,
You know,
where it's just like a part of it. Like,
Yeah,
you don't
none
have
of-
to think too hard about it.
none of it feels like really tokenized, I guess.
Mhm.
It's pretty refreshing. But yeah, Fiona and Cake ended.
Yeah, and it's really good.
Yeah,
I
I
can't
saw-
wait to watch
overall.
more of it.
I saw people talking about this. Like, I think Shay Frillis from YouTube.com made a tweet there at my timeline that I kind of agree with. Like, it's crazy how Adventure Time had like 200 episodes, but this 10 episode miniseries made me realize I want even more of this world. And it's kind of true. Like, I ended this like on its own, Fiona Cake. Like, if this didn't get like another season, I'd be satisfied. But like, it really sunk in. Like, oh my god, there's so much you can do with like this world of Adventure Time.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Yeah, it genuinely, like, when I was reading Adventure Time comics in like middle and high school, I was like, I want to write my own thing because like you can just do anything you want, and that is such a cool feeling to like have it still be cohesive. Like it's you know, I like there's a lot of worlds out there where you have to have like a really consistent like aesthetic or anything like that, but like it's like One Piece where it's like, all right, well, you're in a different place, anything can happen. Like
No,
I enjoy that freedom a lot. I imagine the creators do too.
They've really set up their world. Like, you can kind of just go anywhere and do anything with these characters. Like, the whole like kind of higher power world they've set up is like very like weird and silly, and they can kind of do whatever they want with it. Really.
I would be interested in just like a show that just focuses entirely just on just like the workplace aspect of like being a god. I mean, that was explored pretty heavily. Yeah, there's just so many. There's like you could do like sci-fi stuff. You can have it just be like a straight up kind of fantasy. There's I don't know. You could explore stuff in like the post-apocalypse sort of setting.
Yeah, you could do like the post-series setting with
Shermie
I totally forget the name. Yeah, Shermie and Beth. Because like there's so much implied like story there that you just like don't see, but you know is there.
Who's like the storyboard artist?
Steve Wolfhard,
who has like a whole like document of ideas for that.
Every time he posts concept art for like the 1000 plus future world, it just feels like so incredibly thought out. Like there's clearly more going on than like we know.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I think that's just a fun way to do things. Like
it really is.
Even when the show ended, they just revealed that entire world, and it wasn't just like it didn't feel like random or one off. Like it felt really like thought out.
Yeah. I think it's really cool that Adventure Time is so like okay with like being like, yeah, in like 1,000 years, like shit's kind of fucked. But like as a viewer, you kind of like, at least for me, you don't feel sad because you know like the Adventure Time world is like vast and goes on for like a very long time, and things just have ups and downs, and like it'll inevitably get better because it's Adventure Time.
The kind of
like, it's cool
hypothesis of the series is like in the theme song, like, you know, the fun will never end kind of idea, and you see that with Shermie and Beth, like in the short time we spent with them now is their world is kind of in a ruined state, I guess if you want to call it that, but Shermie and Beth are like still like happy people, they love each other, there's a lot of warmth and comfort in that. It's like that,
and Chuskus
and Swan Pot is there too.
Swan.
That was,
get out of here.
That was kind of maybe to some extent the hypothesis of the series originally. It's like when Penn Lord was making Adventure Time, part of the reason he made Finn and Jake the way they are is at the time he was kind of tired of like cartoons, like all the characters hated each other kind of thing. So like it was kind of like part of the show's DNA. There's this kind of warmth and love to the characters.
Oh, that's so sweet.
And that's kind of carrying over to like Shermie Beth's world, which I think is very sweet. And I think you could really expand upon that world. But I think like if they're worried about marketability, like Princess Bubblegum and Marceline world, like you could just put them in there on the poster, and that would be like a very easy sell for people.
Yeah, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and we can kind of talk about like just the future in general. Because this show like it's been insanely popular.
No,
like,
Adventure Time clips and art I see on my timeline with like 50K likes, which is insane.
Yeah, it feels like there's really just been a massive uptick in like. I think a lot of it's probably just been people talking about the show and how good it is, and people wanting to be a part of that, and like going back and watching, like older episodes to like, I don't know, feel a part of it, you know, just to get a full breadth of the world that the show has created.
Sorry, you continue. Apologies.
Oh, well, I was just gonna talk about how like, I definitely think we're going to see more Adventure Time things. They did interview Adam Muto, the showrunner, about this. He says that there's like no production currently on anything. I think he said specifically like if we do get more stuff, it probably won't be for a while, just because it seems to take a long time to like start the show from the ground up.
And there's New Garnet, Warner Bros. Because this was approved. Fiona and Cake was approved before there was that huge shift in Warner Bros.
Yeah, but I have to imagine, I don't know, like this was like the #1 show on
every week,
streaming service,
pretty much. Yeah,
at least top 3 every week. I know for like its premiere and its finale, it definitely hit #1.
And again, like every Adventure Time clips and art of like Fiona and Cake specifically, always like with insane numbers, like on my Twitter timeline, like all the time.
Yeah,
like, there's an audience for this.
Yeah, so I guess the big question is like if like the network will push for specifically like a second season of this show, which I don't.
Yeah,
that's a big question.
It's weird because I like the Fiona and Cake characters a lot, like the ones they introduce in their world. But it's like when I think about what you would do to get more of them, I'm not sure what you would do that wouldn't feel like a bit forced or weird. Like maybe it was like if they just wanted like 11-minute episodes in that world, I think that could work maybe. But like it seems like they're going to be doing this kind of like more story-based kind of concepts going forward, and I don't know with how the show ends and like how everything wraps up, what if you could do more of like the Fiona and Cake show, especially like Simon in particular. I think they've left it a pretty good place.
I guess like despite not seeing like the whole thing, I will say I think it's remarkable that they managed to create like a really compelling show and premise out of like what is genuinely just like a gender swap fan fiction in universe. Like I was worried how they were going to even pull something like that off, and then they were like, let's just do like a really thoughtful exploration of like this character and like the nature of fiction. So you know, I have faith if they like have the same kind of staff that they could absolutely pull this kind of thing off again if they needed to.
I think it's good.
Feel like not crappy.
I think it's good. Also, they really retooled like Cake and Fiona as characters, because in the original show, they're very much like just kind of Finn and Jake, but girls, pretty much. But here they're very different. They're kind of built from the ground up. Fiona's a bit like selfish at the start. She's like kind of dismissive to the people around her. She's flawed in like a really interesting way. Which I was worried. You always were like, oh, she's just gonna be like the girl character, stock main character kind of. But she's like really flawed. She's like selfish kind of. I think that's interesting. And then Cake is a lot different from Jake. She's a lot more like Jake likes to kind of retreat, but Cake is very much like I want to be in the action. And it makes like interesting.
She feels like fuck it up in like the first episode.
They basically made new characters. I think also what helps is since like the Fiona and Cake world isn't just like Finn and Jake's world, but like gender swapped now. Like it's kind of its own domain. And certain characters aren't even gender swapped. Like the banana guards are still male. Like the hot dog princess is like still female. It kind of makes it just feel like a more like this is the alternate take on those characters kind of world, and some of them have different genders kind of thing.
And it made sure to like clarify that like it was something that was building off like them being a bit of like gender swap and then everything else. Just like it's their own kind of like the reason why Hunter seems like to not have any definitive pronouns.
I love the explanation is Prismo just was writing a character and just like, oh shoot, I made Finn and Jake.
That's such a funny, like that's such a funny way to explain that in universe for him to be like, oh,
Yeah.
oh shit.
Yeah. And that's apparently a twist they had in mind for like years, but like they
Really?
never. Yeah, Muto did an interview where he said like around the time they thought of Prismo, that's when they started thinking about that. That's also when like because like season 5 onward, they like start implying that Fiona and Cake is real. Like that kind of becomes the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I guess they were just it's crazy that they like waited this long. Like but I mean that's kind of one of the cool things about the show is that they just touch on so many concepts and they always leave them in a place where like it can be picked up later to be explored again.
Yeah.
The fun will never done. They said it.
Love gotta hand it to them. They picked a good YouTube internet person to voice a character. Whenever they get internet personalities to voice characters and things, it's sometimes a bit risky. You get Aaron Hansen in your cartoon, it might not be good. But Brian David Gilbertson gave a very good performance. And
oh yeah,
well,
BDG
actually,
was great.
I wanted to say Aaron Hansen did voice a character in being Puppy Cat, but he doesn't even really say anything. All he does is like grunts.
He's good in that.
No, but yeah, he did a great job. They got him to sing he's a theater kid, so I think that helped a lot. So you had to do a very like campy performance.
Yeah, I think if you're gonna make the Onceler, BDG was like the perfect pick for that.
Yeah.
Honestly.
After
Like,
that
straight
episode
up.
came out,
Onceler.
after that episode came out, everyone wanted to obliterate that twink.
Oh my god.
No, that's one of that might be my favorite episode of this group. I really liked that one. I liked the kind of idea it explored of like what if this is how Ice King dealt with like what happened to him and like how that like creates other things. And that shot of like early on when you see like the ice Marceline and then later on she's like melted and like you kind of ponder like what happened to regular Marceline in this universe. They don't really explain. Like Ice King probably just wasn't there for her, and it's very interesting stuff. And you get a killer song from Hayden Welch. So.
Oh yeah.
They should bring in Germa to voice a character next.
Oh my god, yes.
Well, like Germa's a genuinely very good voice actor. So.
Germa would kill it as an Adventure Time bit character, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, he was made for that
do, like,
role.
3 characters.
Sadly, and we talked about this when we said he should be in the Owen Dennis Among Us show. I think he would get like 14 emails from Cartoon Network and never read them. I mean,
to kind of be cryptic again, not to spoil anything. I think the way they wrapped Simon up was like perfect. Like they went in the direction I wanted them to go, but also surprised me on how they did it. I like that they kind of gave him a flaw to like overcome. Like it's not just like kind of a perfect man had his perfect relationship road. They kind of examine what the relationship was and like how both of them were in it. And I think it's really interesting the conclusion the show comes to, and Simon kind of realizes stuff about himself, like his own worth and stuff like that. I think the way they landed on that is really, really interesting, and I'm glad they did it.
The whole like Simon and Betty relationship is they wrote that so well. Like I feel like I mean it does feel like one of those things. Like Adventure Time does this a lot with its stories where they don't know everything from the start, but they kind of build. There's a lot of instances where they build character backstories based on what we do know about them from episodes they appear in. And I feel like they've done that really well with Betty. Like from everything we know about their relationship from like the original show, like I think they worked in all of that like really well in this show, and it has a really like it just makes sense. Like it makes for a really good I guess, emotional journey.
Mhm.
Um,
Simon, like, okay, so like I very recently watched the second episode, and like the bit where Simon like calls Marceline and he's like trying to cheer himself up, and like, but Marceline and like PB are like having so much fun that he doesn't want to like be a downer, and he just like hangs up. I was like, that was like a real ass scene. Like, that was just
Yeah.
very like
Uh-huh.
from the heart. It's like, damn, okay, guys. Like
Yeah.
the exploration of loneliness with Simon so far, from what I've seen, is like really good. I like it a lot. It feels very genuine.
They took his character, I think, like the most interesting place you could, because Ice King to some extent was always kind of a metaphor for like Alzheimer's, kind of symbolized it a
Yeah.
bit, and we're kind of seeing now, kind of symbolizing a bit like being like after you dealt with it, like after you've like lived with it, um, and like how that would affect him now, and like the idea that he's kind of like so out of touch with everything now, he can't relate to anything and anyone because he's missed so much and he wasn't himself for so long. It's really interesting. The way they handled it is really interesting, and how he kind of comes to realize his worth with Fiona and Cake in particular, like how they're used, how Simon, Fiona, and Cake all kind of like parallel and lift each other up and work with each other, and the conclusions they come to with that, I think, are consistently really interesting.
I can't wait to watch more of the show so that I can be better
Yeah,
at this
no.
kind of
Yeah. It's so good.
It's really this show like really gives me the sense that like when the show ended, like they still had more to do, you know.
Mhm.
Like they've confirmed that like there are multiple pitches they have in mind. I wonder if this like massive renewed interest will have like any effect on how any of
I-
those go.
I really hope it does, because they've proven they're just really good at handling things like this. Like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't know. I would be more concerned if like a big series had like all these different like spin-off things, but like I don't know. I just haven't been disappointed with what they put out. So
No,
like I can't like be worried anymore.
To me,
I think it-
Adventure Time, I've used this before. I think other people have. Adventure Time is the closest America has to like, I guess, a long-running shonen anime. It's this
Yeah.
really long.
This is our One Piece.
Yeah, it kind of is. To be frank, it kind of is. It's like our very long-running, kind of weird, wacky cartoon where they can go anywhere and do anything. And I think when Adventure Time originally ended, it almost just feels like where like a story ended, and now they're moving on to like a new story.
Yeah.
So
This is their next arc.
I know like their one thing Adam Muto says they're not gonna do more Finn and Jake ever like as main characters. Like Finn and Jake will like show up in things obviously, but like they won't ever be the main focus again. Because like Together Again was like the conclusion
That was it.
they wanted to give those characters. We've seen them die. We've seen their ends of
Yeah.
their lives. We see like the end of like them as characters. They had over 270 episodes to explore those characters in particular. They're done with them. Finn and Jake will always be around. Always, like we saw Finn in this show in particular.
Yeah,
Um,
like he has problems though still.
But
But
like,
we already went through that.
yeah, like,
right.
we've seen the end of their lives at this point. But there's still so much you can do in this world. Like, it doesn't feel like a show like kind of stretching to do more. Like for example, like I like a regular show, but if they brought it back, I'd be like, okay, do you really need to bring a regular show back?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the world just isn't big enough for that.
But like Adventure Time has such a big world. It has so many characters. It has so many things you can explore with its freedom. It doesn't feel like you're forcing it to keep going, kind of thing.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. It feels very driven by the ideas the people making it have,
Mhm.
rather than like I don't get the sense that they're being like approached and like told to think of something because we want more episodes. It just very much feels like
Mhm.
they're just doing what they want.
Yeah.
And if they are
I've
being
always
told,
felt.
they're really good at their job.
Adventure
Yeah,
Time
if this
is-
was just pulled out of their rear ends, I mean, they fooled me.
Yeah.
It's very special for Adventure Time to have the longevity it has.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
just like it's something that really look that can just iterates on itself. Like so many beginnings they address, they build that they could just work with. Like even with Peppermint Butler, we could go back to him and see how his new studies is going.
hmm Yeah,
Or
I mean,
like-
they like reveal that he becomes princess at some point too. We don't know anything about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's The thing about like Adventure Time just kind of use like a lot of other story. I wouldn't even say Adventure Time is story based. I would more call it world based. Maybe that's a snobby thing to call it. Like, oh, it's a story based. It's world, but it's true. Adventure Time doesn't have one story, like ongoing story, kind of thing.
There's not a plot really.
Mm-hmm.
It's more a world, and you spend time with it, and you see what happens with these characters within this world, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But like a lot of the shows, I guess you can compare it to like in terms of the shows that kind of have stories or worlds or characters. Like Owl House is only like 2 seasons. Gravity Falls is only like 2 seasons. A lot of shows that kind of try to do this don't get to last very long. The closest is Steven Universe. Like that's the closest like there is like a big expansive world with like a lot of stories told within those worlds. I think sometimes this is the one thing I think I'll miss with Adventure Time going forward. Maybe if they keep doing mostly story stuff, kind of. Say real quick, I lost my voice for a second there. I will kind of miss Adventure Time's one-off kind of like plot stuff because I think that's one of the advantages it always had over like Steven Universe. Like, again, it's like the only other one that really did like one-offs a lot. Because like Owl House, when it got going, it just kind of kept going. It really had time for one-offs because it didn't really have the ability to have time for one-offs. I think a lot of cartoons that do stories sometimes don't have the time for one-offs, or they don't have as interesting of one-offs. Like Vampia, for example, has one-offs, but I don't think its one-offs were always particularly the most interesting when I checked it out. But Adventure Time, it's one-offs. Like if you're skipping Adventure Time's one-offs, like you're missing some of the best of the show.
You're missing out on Adventure Time. It is the one-off.
Exactly.
Right.
It's called Adventure and Time. You need time to be on the adventure.
Yeah,
So
I do
true.
agree that I will miss that. I don't know if there will be a return to that, but I mean at the same time, like
what we're getting now is so good anyway. Like
right, yeah, and we got to have a show that did that. That exists in like 300 episodes nearly. So I mean, it's kind of hard to complain that we can't get more.
Craig of the Creek.
I guess
Nintendo's saying this. Craig of the Creek is probably pretty close to. It's got like that whole kind of backyard world with a lot of characters and a lot of episodes. That's true. I think Craig of the Creek is kind of up there with like Steven and Adventure Time, with having like this big kind of world.
The Craig of the Creek lore goes crazy from what I've seen.
Yeah, it's just like it's all just made up in your heads.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. I think it feels like there's always more potential, but it's not at the expense of like being able to write things. I also think like nowadays you don't really have the assurance of having the ability to have time to do
totally.
This
So everybody's like
episode.
I know
everybody's like get in, get out.
I know like the Owl House team in particular has like they had like pounds and pounds of episodes they wanted to do. They couldn't because they got canceled really. Like that episode they made early in the 3rd season, where like they're in the human world. There's that montage at the start, and every single one of those montages were basically like, this is an episode we wanted to make, kind of thing.
Oh, dang. Yeah. I feel like within this story-based framework, though, you still get like little flashes of like just completely random, like just excuses to just do, I guess, different art styles and different like strange ideas. Like I really like Wyatt's wish that he makes.
Oh, that's one of the best, I think, classic cartoon. Just every cartoon does their classic cartoon gags. That's maybe one of my favorites ever because it doesn't look like all the other ones. It goes for like a really interesting style.
It's not specifically like Felix the Cat, like Mickey Mouse rubber hose. It's like weird early like animation. That's like kind of like creepy and gross looking.
Yeah,
like Wyatt.
Exactly.
I'm Wyatt.
Yeah, I mean, we could probably talk forever.
Oh God, no,
we literally talked last episode.
Yeah,
probably like a full hour. Yeah.
I'm Wyatt.
Wyatt.
What do you think he was going to wish for?
Okay, that's a good question.
What do you think Wyatt was gonna wish for?
Sandwich.
I don't know. He's probably gonna wish tree trunks would return to him.
He killed all those people to do that.
I wonder what his monkey's paw would have been. Maybe he'd get sent to like when she was in the crystal dimension. He has to be her slave. He'd probably like that.
I do love they don't explain who wished for most of these universes because Adventure Time universes are kind of made by wishes. But they did explain on like Twitter or something what one of the universes was. The baby universe you see for a bit was wished by BMO specifically.
Yeah.
Did they explain
That's
why
really
Beemo
funny.
wished for it?
I mean,
He's just silly, but BMO's silly. That's probably the reason.
Beemo
I
wants
can-
my friends to be babies forever.
Yeah, I can very clearly hear like BMO saying, "I wish everyone was babies," and then then it is.
yeah.
It's like, all right, you got it, dude.
And then
It's
Baby
because he's a
Finn is
weirdo.
just
Yeah,
and then Baby Finn is just somewhere else now.
I think my favorite thing in the world about Prismo is the fact that in his like introductory episodes, he's like, "Hey, I can't control this. It's like I had to fuck up your wish somehow, but if you make me fuck up another guy's wish, I'll help you with that." Like it's such a fun
He's
twist on
so
the baseball
cool.
situation. Yeah, it's great.
He's like so
Mhm.
chill. Even like his boss is like super chill, but the other boss,
I love
Yeah.
I love the gag that like every one of these gods, like even like the Cosmic Owl early in the show, they're all just kind of guys chilling, kind of is the vibe, and the Scarab is like the one guy taking things really seriously.
Yeah. I still love that like the Gods of Adventure Time stages of like that's donked up, man. Like that's just really funny to me.
remember how Abraham Lincoln was technically one of them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's such a early Adventure Time pull. I'm glad they like kept referencing it though, honestly.
We need a mini series that explains how Abraham Lincoln achieved God status and became King of
It's-
Mars.
It's like crazy fuck to me that like in the episode where he like turns into a statue, he like gives the penny of him and you hear like the John Wilkes Booth gunshot like
Yeah.
in the background. That's crazy.
Jesus Christ.
It needs to be like a live. We need a live action like TV drama. Where it's like a Lincoln period. It starts as a Lincoln period piece, and then it just
Okay, but he also
fantasy
has to
element.
fight. He also has to fight vampires.
well, that's been done.
But he needs to fight vampires when he's doing it, and then like
Okay.
even after like killing all the vampires and falling through like a train, he still gets shot in the head. So, like he could have predicted this.
Two more quick
Like
things. Oh, go on.
I was gonna say, like imagine John Will Booth comes in and is like, "Hey, Abraham Lincoln, parry this."
Street Fighter 3 parry noise, like the Flash.
Two
He like shoots 6 shots and he parries them all, and then does a super.
He gets a super on him, takes him out.
This
Ape
is
had 1
legit,
HP that
like,
entire play.
this is legit. The rip to JFK, but I would have done this.
Sorry, JFK, I would have parried that bullet.
Two more quick things about Adventure Time before we move on and start wrapping up maybe the show. What I think it's interesting, nearly every alternate universe we go to, I think pretty much all of them are things that are kind of affected by maybe something Simon did. It kind of is an interesting way they tie into like Simon has more worth than he gives himself kind of thing. I thought that was really interesting, like thing you kind of pick up on.
Mhm.
Second, what was the second thing I was going to say?
I don't know. Was it gonna be about White Marceline
No,
Oh god.
from the comics?
White Marceline isn't real. I don't believe her.
Why am I white?
Oh
Have
my
you-
god, I love that.
Pumpkin, have you seen the White Marceline comic panel?
I've not.
I'll just post this here. This was one of the early comics, like before so
White.
really in depth with lore. And they had a flashback where Marceline was a human. She was white.
Wasn't
She's
she
white.
never a human though?
No, I guess this was before they realized that.
That's
Because the
really funny.
The comics are just made without like involvement with the show writers, so I think they just had to make stuff up.
White Marceline. Oh my god.
You can't remember. Okay.
I don't remember the second thing I was going to say. I feel embarrassed now.
Well, what about the third thing?
I promised a third thing. I did too.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it'll come to you after we read some questions.
Real quick though, Rosa wants to do one thing she watched this week, and I'll get the questions ready while she does that.
So Okay, so this counts as big news, but recently they released the first episode of Otona Precure, or is it called Full Bloom Pedicure? Something like that.
Full bloom.
Yeah, it's on Crunchyroll, surprisingly, because like that's a sequel spin-off that requires you to like see like both Splash 4 and both 2 seasons of Yes 5, which is not
Oh,
on Crunchyroll.
everyone's gonna say. I'll say when you're done, but everyone's gonna say better type. Go on.
Write it down.
Write it down. Yeah, go on.
It's very strange for them to like broadcast, but I think probably like something behind the scenes where they required to have that broadcast as well, or like future pre-or stuff.
Mhm.
So I watched the first episode, and I guess it's interesting. It's kind of just following Nozomi, who was like the main lead in the third in Yes Go. So she's like a teacher, and I guess that was her dream. I haven't seen that season because there's like 2 of them, and it has like issues.
When my hero dogs have issue.
Yeah, and it's surprisingly a lot of it's like already the thesis is like global warming is bad, and the people are causing global warming. Therefore, a monster evil being is created because like because like people don't like recycle or litter, and it's kind of like emphasizing the fact that like even though they're adults, they're a bit more powerless to like do anything. Like Nozomi was trying her best to help like a girl get a chance to like go to a private school to continue practicing dance, while also finding out that her parents is going through like a really messy divorce, and her dad is just getting drunk and angry in the other room.
Oh no.
Yeah, yeah. And then they kind of have like the girls reunite, and then they have Milk look at the screen at the audience, says, "This is no, this is no coincidence. This was fate." And it's like kind of funny because like it implies that only 2 of them haven't seen each other at this bar for like a good while now. Well, no, they have not seen the other. Like Milk is just there this whole time. She goes there regularly because she talks to them like the bartenders, like she knows them. And also Kita, Ayuko are like the 2 Splash Star characters that first appeared in the first episode. No Saki or Mai yet. But yeah, they're married, they run the bar together, and there's like a little creature the Kenta's back that's called a baby. So yeah, Yuko, my man, congrats on the kids. So yeah. Yeah, there's that. And like yeah, basically like, oh, we must be here for a reason, and then yeah, that's it. They're just drinking now. And I hope we see Saki and Mai soon, because like I just wanted to tell me already like what's going on with the ring on Saki. Like tell me the unfortunate news already. I can't handle it. Please.
All right.
But it's fine. I'm sure Yes 5 fans will really love it. Slasher fans are gonna be happy with the fact that like the Among Us twins are like streamers.
You can't
Cat streamers.
You can't just say the Among Us twins with
whatever.
no you can't say that with no context. You're gonna need to explain that. Putting my
We don't
foot
have
down.
time for that to happen.
Okay, the Among Us twins are
No,
like
okay.
I can explain it like a sentence. They were villains from Flash Star that became good and wanted to live. And they just pretended to be friends until they realized like they wanted to live and be friends with Sakemai.
They're not. I think the problem here was calling them the Among Us twins, though. Like, I don't think people know.
The Among Us twins.
It's fine.
I'm among and I'm us.
Yeah.
It's fine. We've definitely brought them up before, but I don't know who they are really. I'm not.
Other than that,
Are they?
it's fine, but I can't help but feeling it's like who dragged out my buddy Blood here, which is Saki and my Splasher stuff. they did not need to bring them in. It's like huge disrespect to that season because like they feel like no one liked that, even though it's like better.
Yeah.
Do I recommend it? I mean, if you care about Yes 5. So
Okay.
All right.
I guess that's not me then.
Oh no, you're a big Heart Catch fan. I know you.
Yeah.
oh
gotta
yeah,
get
also
Guilty as changed.
also I wanted to say I played Susan Tax Fair demo today.
What is that?
Oh, thank you. Hey, what's that?
Oh, I think it's a game.
She hated
about...
it. The joke. That was a joke. I didn't mean it.
It's a game about a taxpayer named Susan.
That's crazy. That's so good. You should check it out.
Yeah, you should
It's
check
really
it out.
fun.
It's real fun. Easy
It's
to
really
set
funny.
up.
Yeah, super easy to set up. Definitely no qualms at all with putting that, making that game work. It was really funny. I saw a streamer, like a VOD of Susan Taxpayer from like a month ago, and this person was like complaining that it looked too much like Pizza Tower, and they weren't really getting the controls. And it's like they had completely skipped the tutorial, and they just like were missing like fundamental moves. It was just really funny to me. I was like, I don't know if part of this is my fault.
It's okay.
I-
You can say who it was. You can say it was Aaron Hansen.
I wish Aaron Hansen played my
Of
game.
Game
I would at least
Grumps.
get eyes on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Put on Game Grumps.
I thought it was really funny though. Like I get why Nintendo makes the tutorials they do nowadays, because watching a streamer play your game, and like God bless the hearts of all the streamers who play my game. That's so cool. Thank you so much for doing that. But there are some people who are like, well, I feel like maybe you should have picked up on that and you didn't. And I don't know how much of this is my fault. Like
Yeah.
like maybe you should have grasped that you can like charge and jump in the air at the same time. And some
Yeah.
streamers just didn't, and it made it really awkward for them playing. And I was like, I don't. Well, guys, you need to experiment a little. So, I understand now why Nintendo is like, here's a 10-minute tutorial. You will understand everything that you can do, no matter what. Like,
Mm.
Uh,
Also,
go on.
also, shout out to the fact that you're on one of our friends' stream, Yao Cow.
The real
wait, really?
Yao
Yeah.
Cow?
Yeah, you were watching a stream. And I was there in that stream, and I said, man, you should be a podcast guest one day. And here you are!
I don't. Wait, I don't recall this. What?
Thanks for the comment, Niall.
What did I
There's a
say?
The
There's a
game.
Rockout stream?
The
Let me
game.
think.
The Game Grumps are
Shut up,
kind of
Niall!
like the Among
Shut
Us
up!
twins. I remember I wanted to say real quick, and I won't go too long. I just want to mention real quick. I just want to say I think the way they cover the Lich in Adventure Time Fiona Cake is really cool. I'm glad. I think that's a character they really could have kept like bringing back and just be like this guy again kind of energy, but like they very smartly use him in Fiona and Cake, and I think the conclusion they came to on him and like his kind of arc is really interesting, and I'm glad. I don't think we need to use him ever again now, but I think the conclusion they came to with him and Fiona and Cake is really cool.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That rules.
All right, just real quick before we get to questions, I just have one thing I want to say.
Yeah.
Mario Wonder drops on October 20th. Listen, I was never a book smart. I was money smart.
No,
Alright.
long. It's like Enya to me.
Makes me
Also, I
more
also-
intelligent.
Oh yeah, also I want to say I look forward to your Susan Taxpayer zine.
Thank you. Oh, sorry. I thought you were saying Rockout, not Yokow. Okay, there we go.
Oh,
I understand now. I was on the Yokow stream.
the Yokow. Yeah.
Yeah, Rockow is a different Mario adjacent SMBX streamer. So I was
Yeah.
like, huh? When
Oh
did that
yeah,
happen?
yeah,
Okay, that makes way more sense. I'm now recalling what you meant. Just wanted to clarify.
yeah. Okay,
Right,
that makes sense too. I love
What's our question of the day?
Sorry, wait, chat loves my song. I just want to say thank you, everyone. All right, we got a few questions
Whatever.
here. He really wants to get these questions. Gosh.
Yeah, I'm hungry.
Jeez. Okay, there's something you and Rose are going to be talking about real quick. Because I forgot
Yeah.
this was even a topic we could do. For those of you who have played it, what is your thoughts on the Sonic Frontiers DLC, especially the last portion of it?
Okay, I'm still going through it, so I haven't experienced like Supersonic 2 yet. But if I were to give thoughts on what I played so far, I say it's pretty interesting seeing how they went about like trying to differentiate these characters from
Mhm.
Sonic while also trying to keep within the same gameplay scope. And it's pretty fun initially. I think for sure I had a great time playing as Tails because like the fact that Tails just flies around and has like all these different type of tech to like just break the level design or the levels or like the little obstacles in it. It's just hilarious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we
It's
kind of we did touch on this last night
Mhm.
when we played Kirby and the Amazing Mirror. If you weren't there for that, but I've played just enough to try out each of the characters. I do think Tails probably is my favorite one.
yeah. Amy's a good in the middle. She's pretty fun. I think a thing that these characters suffer from is like startup. Like Knuckles is the one that suffers from the worst, where like his glide has like a really bad startup that you could just spam in the middle of like the air,
Uh huh.
and it's kind of just like hard to like move around him. It's like and like
Mm-hmm.
just trying to climb at him, it's like bad because like it kind of is seems like you're building off like the way Sonic climbs up walls, and then it's just hard to control, like hard to do. Like if he like hits like if he touches like anything he can't climb, he just slides down like 10 minutes. And it's like baffling that like they felt like they needed to like heavily balance him
Mm-hmm.
for like some reason while like Tails is like broken to hell because they kind of just because they feel like they can't do anything to like balance that. It's like, nah, we give up.
Yeah, oh, you can.
I just want to
Yeah.
say, just real quick, it's been interesting as an outsider to Sonic watching people talk about this one because I don't think I've seen a Sonic thing in a long time. Sonic's pretty famous for maybe these kind of things. I've never seen a Sonic thing in a long time where people either go, "This is amazing, I love this so much, it's perfect," or "This is the worst thing I've ever played."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I haven't gotten to. I can't give like a comprehensive opinion on it yet. I haven't gotten to any of like the apparent like ROM hack difficulty stuff that's in this.
Mhm.
Oh, it's in the
Um,
like cyber level for Sonic. It's insane.
uh-huh. Um, but yeah, I guess I'll kind of summarize some of my thoughts. Um, it does feel like with Knuckles specifically, like they want to. It feels like in 3D games they try to like balance out how he plays by giving it like because he can climb walls and like stick to them for as long as he wants and like just climb wherever basically and it feels like they're pretty self-conscious of that in this update. It feels like his glide doesn't like play into his other moves very meaningfully,
Mhm.
which I think is kind of a misstep. But yeah, I do like how they're giving more prominence to like Amy's tarot cards, her fortune cards.
Yeah.
As I think that's a good like
Mhm.
I don't know, that's a neat like secondary thing to give her. I will say Amy here, like the last 3D game where we could play as all these characters, I think was Sonic 06. Yeah. I could
Boy,
definitely
she was-
say that Tails and Amy do play better here than they did there.
Wait,
Yeah.
Amy was done so dirty in 06
Wait,
playstyle wise.
But,
Yeah.
but Tails doesn't have the ring bombs.
Now, there's one thing I gotta say is that like the combat here feels like it was made with the idea that like the enemies can be taken out in 2 to 3 hits. But what's on the but in the overworld there's barely any sort of like combat.
Uh-huh.
and they have just like tougher enemies that feels better off like being fought with Sonic, who has the versatility to deal with them. Because it feels like if you try with any other character, it's like trying to figure out like a cheese for it. Like
Mhm.
even Knuckles, it felt like they wanted him to be heavily combat orientated. Just feels bad to play since he doesn't have like any sort of like dynamic movesets. Same with everyone else. It kind of feels like it was more for like a different idea than like Sonic Frontiers had going on.
All right. Yeah. Well, that's good. I guess that's kind of all. I hope that answers the Patreon question.
Yeah, but I'm sure the new Sonic, the Supersonic section will go hard as hell.
Yes.
You played Sonic Frontiers DLC Punkit?
No, I haven't even played Sonic Frontiers yet.
Okay,
I'm a
good.
bad gay person.
Neither
You can
have
get on it.
I played the first area of Sonic Frontiers and then kind of fell off it. I don't think it's for me, sadly.
Yeah. I also want to mention they have like new character dialogues, and it's kind of fun. But I think what I'm noticing is kind of like explaining more or less than like having casual conversation, and more just explaining stuff.
Exposition.
Yeah, exposition. I think the only funny one they have is like Sonic is stage talking about like how Sonic were like how Sonic is the only one who can see like these obstacle courses. And not
Uh-huh.
Sage. She's like, "What are you talking about? I've never seen anything. You're kind of just floating in the air."
I said this on stream the other night. I really hope we play Sonic Adventure. I like it because if I
I
come
don't
out,
think he will.
if
I don't think he will.
if I come out
I-
of the Sonic franchise with the one I like the most being Sonic Lost World, I think I might need to like hide forever.
No, you'll be fine. No.
They'll crucify you. You're gonna die.
Uh-huh. The Zavok jokes were real this whole time.
I will say, gameplay notwithstanding for Sonic Frontiers, I think they've got the ability to take a story seriously. They've got like the butt metal back. Like I don't care what happens after that. I think we're so back, baby.
Yeah.
I hope. I think my hope for the next one is they build upon what was here. Like they keep the style open. I hope they. I don't know if there's a hot take still. I hope they maybe take the visual direction in a more interesting place. I don't.
Yeah.
That's not hot at all.
I don't think the style they went for the world in this game ever really landed for me. I'm not against
the longevity.
I'm not against the idea of Sonic and realistic environments or anything. I just think what they went for, I don't think really landed for me personally.
Yeah,
I think
I think even when they go for realism, it's kind of like a heightened realism.
yeah, I think what's there like in like Sonic Unleashed or like I don't know Black Knight or Secret Rings or whatever. I think something looking like that, like a bit more modern looking. I think if the game looked like that in an open world, I think I'd be more fine with it. But what was there, I didn't love. And if they want to have those like kind of platforming, floating things, I hope they make them look a bit nicer next time. Because like
Yeah,
integrate a bit more.
it took me out of the game sometimes just to see like a lot of floating strings in the distance.
yeah, it's kind of became more bugging, especially like when you're playing as Knuckles or like traveling around as Tails. You kind of just see it emphasized. I think one of the devs for Nick All-Star Brawl said it best. I never seen a DLC that worsened my opinion of a game.
Is that how you feel?
I feel like as exciting it was to see new characters, I feel like they kind of made it like worse. They
God.
kind of like they had the best case scenario and kind of made it worse. We're like trying to balance these characters, and it's like I think it's funnier when they're broken than like trying to balance it. Like try it broken first and then balance it later. But they like went for both at the same time.
I hate to say Mario in a Sonic conversation, but I think what Bowser's Fury did with its like platforming stuff, like where it's kind of like it's platforming stuff, but it's kind of themed to the world you're in. Like there's like structures a bit. I kind of hope they do that next time.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. That one was like better about it.
Like you can have kind of platformy stuff in your open world, but I hope it's a bit more like built into the world and like here's the big black block with the strings attached kind of stuff. I don't know. I know that was a huge point of contention. I think even if they're just like holograms, I think now that we know they're in Sonic's mind, maybe they're like kind of hologram looking, they make a bit more sense. But that's just me.
Yeah, I think it didn't bother me too much because like when I was in the main game, because like it at least felt like a bit more exciting going on. Because like I'm just running around in Sonic, and then a random boss comes and fight me, and it felt like fun and great to go to, and the music was great. I think it flowed a bit better in comparison.
Hmm.
But like here, it's kind of like you see the enemy and they're like jacked up. The characters' moves don't really feel like they're doing much or doing very little. Like even when you upgrade them fully, it feels more for mobility than for combat. It's it's like they're kind of. It really is just like such a back and forth with its own ideas and level designs.
Yeah, I hate Sonic 'cause I'm a Mario fan.
Yeah,
All right.
I like the though I think what's interesting is like when they play like a cyber level, they kind of consider the fact that like people could break the level with the spin dash, but I hate
Uh-huh.
the fact that they were designing around that instead of just like let them figure it, let them use it where they can, because like it kind of ruins the fun when they know we can do it instead of we didn't know we can do it.
Oh, I can
Like-
guarantee you, every developer knows exactly how you're breaking it. When you got to go through things that many
Oh,
times,
Well,
like
what
it is
she's talking about-
inevitable.
What she's talking about specifically is the spin dash was added like after the game was released.
Mhm.
As like and it like kind of like it became like a pretty big like sequence breaking move. Just
Oh,
because the
yeah.
game wasn't designed around it. But
No, I mean,
now the game
I
is
understand
designed around
that.
it. Yeah.
I just meant like they were definitely aware of it, and they just
Uh-huh.
went with it regardless. Because like when you put in a movement ability,
Oh, yeah.
especially in like a AAA game,
Mhm.
this Sonic is AAA, I guess, but like you just do it so many times, and you definitely like know the potential, but it's also like, well, I don't want to tweak it, or I don't want to adjust level design. We're just gonna go with it, and it'll be broken as
Yeah.
fuck. Like they know it.
I think that's
So-
why they made it like an unlockable. It's kind of hard to get.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's kind of hard to get. I think the locking the spin dash was like pretty great because it's kind of
Yeah.
like it allows you to integrate your knowledge of like going around the world or like your way to perceive like
Yeah, no,
different obstacles.
I've been playing the new game thing where you can start with all your abilities, and it's like crazy fun.
Yeah,
It's
like with the
manipulate.
I was also talking about like the update they give you, where you had to do these little challenges, and each time you get an S rank, you could work towards like unlocking the spin dash, which is like was like incredibly
Mhm.
smart and like a good way of like reinforcing like the appeal, like just having these obstacles around it, like playing around, like it's like some sort of skate park.
Yeah.
Um,
All right.
I got a question here that I think maybe is mostly for me. We'll do maybe one more after this for everyone, but I think this is kind of targeted at me. This is from Icy Wiener. Cried. Is there a reason people thought / think Nick All-Star Brawl is cringe, even though Multiverses did the same kind of thing and people liked it? Yes, I have an answer for this. I've observed this. The answer is the first Nick Brawl got put in a bad place it wasn't supposed to ever be put in. It got hyped up a bit more than I think the developers were ever intending for it to get hyped, because it was always supposed to be like a small little niche thing. But kind of meme culture ascended it a bit higher they were ever aiming for and put it in an unfair position, kinda. And then some stuff with Smash happened, and then competitive players kind of put the game on a mantle that it wasn't aiming for, and it caused the game to become kind of a scapegoat on both ends when it came out, and it was like low budget and clearly was made by a small team on a small time, but people didn't care because people were making up shit about, I don't know, the developers hating Sakurai or whatever Nintendo fans care about. So the game just kind of got put in a really unfair position, kind of got claimed to be doing stuff it wasn't ever actually doing. The game just was a low budget indie game that got put in an unfair position pretty much. But Multiverses had a budget, and I think the fact that it had a budget is like all it took to impress people. Is like, oh, this game has a budget, so it's impressive. So that's why it wasn't considered cringe. I think the pendulum is kind of shifting out, though. Honestly, though,
Multiverses is cringe.
I think I've kind of maybe this is who I'm following. I feel like now that it's kind of sunk in, I know more people who are into kind of what Nick Brawl is putting down than what Multiverses ended up putting down. I know for me at least, I way prefer what Nick Brawl does. It's just like a normal game releasing with a story mode.
Just you wait when Multiverses comes back from hibernation. Then the pendulum's gonna swing again.
Well, isn't Multiverses like a freemium game?
Yeah.
Or something weird like that.
It's a game game.
There's no appeal to that for me.
Yeah, that's the problem. Because Nick Brawl, even in the first one, which I think has a lot of problems, but this second one is like fixing a lot of those, and I prefer just like a solid game that releasing at a normal price that has like a story mode and a bunch of stages, like a bunch of fun stages. It's got items, got like everything I would want a game like this to have. Then Multiverse is like, okay, your one option is to play online and grind a battle pass, and I don't think that's fun at all. I think the game's physics were really slow and floaty to me. I think it's lame in hindsight. They made their mascot character a meme version of Shaggy from an outdated meme from 4 years ago.
Crazy that they went with that all the way. That's still crazy to me. I think it's like why, because I know it's not the developer's fault. The developers definitely didn't want to put in like the freemium model or whatever. Like nobody wants to do that. It's just wild to me that it keeps like showing up, and it's like me as a person, like I just don't want to play a game that wants me to come back all the time. Like I'd rather just be like, I want to play this game and I do it. Like,
no, right.
If a game is like, oh, but you're gonna miss the battle pass, I'm like, well, I guess I'll miss out. Like I don't really want to go back. I feel bad about missing it, and I feel so bad I just don't come back ever. Like I had no desire for this format ever. I know it's not the developer's fault.
Multiverses feels like it was kind of covered by a slightly high budget, because I think there's a lot of problems I have with it now. Like the game's got like 4 stages, and they're all very basic, competitively legal stages, and they're like kind of fun. Like I don't like need like super crazy stages. Like I need like stages like on the chip, like Delfino Plaza or like Meta Knight's Halberd ship and like Smash, like something on that tier. I don't think Multiverses even had that. Like all their stages are really boring. I kind of had problems with some of the ways they depicted the characters I liked. I think them making Steven say friendship power was just them trying to make things worse for Steven Universe fans.
Oh no, I didn't know you did that.
Yeah,
every time we hear stuff like that, I sometimes think about this one image. Like, it's a kid looking at the Hulk. It's like, oh yeah, I'm an Eminem's fan, or something.
I'm not sure I follow it.
Okay, so like the kid is trying to say he's tougher than the Hulk by saying, "Well, I'm an Eminem's fan."
What?
What?
This kid is saying he's tougher than Hulk to his face because he likes Eminem, and I guess he gets called cringe for it.
This is like working on a different scale of language than I am perhaps familiar.
I heard the word Hulk in there.
Yeah.
Tougher than Hulk.
Hulk Hogan?
No, the Hulk, the
Marvel guy.
The amount of question marks in chat is so funny to me.
Mr. Best of Both Worlds himself.
Yeah.
What is our last? I'm gonna like waste away here.
No, so just like this chat comment real quick. Multiverses is the first bad Steven Universe song, groundbreaking.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, I hated that game's like how Steve described it. Freaking gaming tournament in between round songs where like what the music sounded like
15 minutes of rating time music.
No, I don't want to be too mean to Multiverse. There's lots of talented people working on it, but it didn't sit with me at all. I think what Nick Brawl, especially 2, is going for, I think is more what I would want out of a game like this. But from Super Mush Act Hill 1-1 is our final question of the night. Whatever you say you have a favorite handheld mainline Mario game, I feel like those games don't come up in conversations much as home console games. I'm curious what you all think.
Oh.
I have a really, really soft spot for the original New Super Mario Brothers. I think it's a really cute revival. I thought it was really good for what it was at the time. In terms of things I don't have a retroactive distaste for, I love Mario Land 2. I think that's really cute.
Yeah. Me too.
Yes,
That's
same.
that's what I was gonna say. That one's like short. I think people take problem with the fact that it's short. But I kind of like it's just like a sit down in an afternoon kind of game. It's got a lot of some weird enemies and levels and simple, but like I kind of like that.
Yeah, like it's short, but it makes up for it by having every single level be like completely different thematically and having
Mhm.
like these completely out there worlds. Like you don't get a lot, but everything you get is like unique, which is a lot more that you can say for like Mario World, which I love Mario World, but like aesthetically and like new ideas wise, it gets pretty boring after the first like couple of levels, IMO.
Mhm.
Like Mario Land 2 is just like, hey, you're in Mario now. Also, there's toys, and you're fighting pigs.
And
Now you're
it's
in
his
space.
balls.
Go to his balls,
It's his
yeah.
balls. Don't forget, it's his balls.
Go to his ball. Go in the turtle. Go in the whale. Go in his balls. Go to space. Like they're never like, well, here's the grassland a second time. They're like, hey, go to the graveyard
Yeah.
world, and you're gonna fight yokai.
That might
And I
just,
think that ruled.
that might just be the one. Oh, 3D Land is pretty classic for me,
Yeah, I love 3D Land.
honestly. I don't know though. I don't have like a favorite Mario in general. I feel I'm a freaking consumer. I just pick them up and be like, oh, it's this one's fun. So is this one. I
I wanna
don't know.
say-
I guess I do like. There's something about 3D Land that I like that I don't know. It feels very specific in a way. I don't know what it is.
I like
It's just a
to
very.
say-
I guess it feels like small. I guess it feels very launch title-y.
Very launch titly.
I think you
It's fun,
accidentally enter Rose like
guess.
3 times in a row. Go on, Rosa.
I was gonna say we're talking about handheld titles, right?
Handheld, yeah.
I like to say the DS remake of like Mario 64, because like I didn't have a copy of like Mario 64, so I never got to experience that game 100%. And it wasn't until like the DS remake came out I was able to like get my hands on it, and like I'm trying, and I was like thinking,
Uh-huh.
trying to figure out like, was this like the original? In certain ways, like the new worlds and stuff. Like, no, this wasn't there, was it?
My opinion, it's funny. I played Mario 64 DS first as a kid. Kind of funny enough, as I've gotten older,
Uh-huh.
I've begun to like it less. Think a lot of the new stuff it adds kind of feels a bit bloating the game
Yeah.
with maybe stuff that isn't always interesting.
Mhm.
Like a lot of the new levels are very like flat, basic levels. Like there's like, oh, here's the small beach area with 5 silver stars kind of stuff.
And like the Fiona Plaza music.
Yeah, I think the game's character balancing is awful because Luigi is so much radically better than every other character in that game to an extreme extent. And
Well, I mean,
and
why would you
Wario,
ever play as anyone else?
well, even besides my obvious bias, Luigi can run at a decent speed. He can jump super high. He's got the floating jump. He's got another floating jump. He can walk on water. He is so objectively better than every other character for platforming. And then Wario just sucks. There's certain jumps he just literally can't make.
It's
Yeah.
got that like fan add-on feeling to me that I kind of cherish. Like I
That's
think
fair.
from an objective stance, like I do think it is bloated and weird. It doesn't fix any of the issues. But like from a fascinating in the context of Mario history stance, I do kind of like it for just how weird it is as a game.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But also like, yeah, the character balancing is awful.
No, it's absurd how much better Luigi is than everyone else in that game. Like, I can't believe they didn't stop and think, like, maybe we should give someone else one of Luigi's abilities.
Yeah.
Or make...
They're like, no. Mario turns into a balloon in this one. That's his thing. That's his special.
Well, now here's the problem.
That is his thing. That is his power.
There's like 12 characters who could turn into a balloon in Mario Wonder now, so I mean, he's not special anymore.
He's not. He can't even turn it. He's not even special anymore. Look what they've done to him.
I guess
Now,
go on.
I gotta say a big.
I bet
knock
they don't even
against-
turn to different animals.
So, I was gonna say a big knock against the DS version. It's like it takes you a long time to pick Wario.
Look how long it takes to pick Wario, then you sit in silence, like the clip just sits in
That's true.
silence, doing
That's
a full
true.
playthrough of unlocking Wario, and then going, look at this!
This is just a thing Ryan would say on a general basis.
Look, like, I'm ignoring my biases for Luigi. He's just objectively like the best character in that game.
In spite of Miiverse, he still is your blurble.
It's like Mario plus Rabbids. Like he just again he's like objectively the best character in that game too.
Oh yeah, I had to like take him out of my team just to have like a semblance of like challenge.
Yeah. Any final
Oh my god.
thoughts on that?
Oh, I was gonna say that
because we can't let this be 4 hours.
Let me say one more thing.
I think I keep interrupting you because my Wi-Fi is like screwing up. It's like I'm like on like a 4-second delay.
Go on,
Let me say one
Rosa.
more thing.
Yeah.
I gotta say, it was fucked up that he left like a window in like the title screen for the castle that looks like you could jump into it, but then you look, it's like, what is it? What is it? And it's just a weird glitch.
Waluigi, he's in there.
I tried, I checked, he's not in there.
I think the demand for
That was such a big like playground rumor thing.
It's kind of funny. Waluigi was always like the character, like be like, oh, is he in this? I think demand for playable Waluigi in mainline Mario has dropped significantly. I think we're very much on like the girls era now. I think people want Peach and Daisy and Rosalina playable usually now outside of the main gang.
Well, I mean, I think now it's just because like even Wario doesn't get in them. So now I think
That's fair.
We're back on Wario again.
Listen,
People want Wario.
this is how I think Waluigi can still win. I think Waluigi has great potential for the sheer fact that he isn't in any game means that every single time somebody adds him into like a fan project, he's always the weirdest bastard they could possibly make. Like his lack of any like appearances makes him a much stronger character for people to latch onto when they're making something. Because like I don't know, Mushroom Kingdom Fusion, a great little game, has like the weirdest possible like power-ups for him. And then there's like Psycho Waluigi. He's like a blank canvas that's been like doused in water before you paint it. So it's all like warped.
What are we gonna do someday if they put him in something like he's defined now? Like every fan game is outdated. Like all the fan games, like Mario's the neutral, Luigi jumps high, and Waluigi has his like a slingshot in this one, and then every
slingshot guy.
Then every like, fan game is like outdated because they don't have Waluigi's iconic slingshot.
Well, I gotta say,
yeah,
if you're making a fan game Waluigi, you have a short time before you can't say his ability is to slow down. Out.
You only have so much time. You have to get on it now. Add him
Come
in.
on.
I don't care if it's not a Mario game. Put him in.
His ability
He'll be in
should be
Susan
now.
Taxpayer.
Oh, do it.
You could play as Luigi in Susan Taxpayer, which some people have been making jokes about. Because like it's literally just built off a Mario engine. So if you type in like it's a me Luigi, you just play as him. And there's some people who didn't know it was a Mario fan game, so they did that as a joke. And then they actually turned into Luigi and like freaked out. It was really funny to me.
Yay!
It's like that
really
meme. It's like the meme people make it like you can now play as Luigi.
Yeah, no, it literally was that by pure circumstance.
Waluigi spawns 2 tennis rackets on both sides of him.
Yeah, it's like a moving shield.
That one's for the streets.
Yeah.
Okay.
Punkit, do you want to
go?
do you want to post anything before we go?
Oh yeah, tell us about what your what?
Yeah. Sorry, you kind of trailed off there. Do you mean like should I shill for myself?
Yeah, chill. Over it.
Oh, baby, I'm so for it. Hi, I'm Punkit.
What do you do?
What do you do?
I'm making a game called Susan Taxpayer. You can see it on the very right of the screen there. It's about a funny little lady in an office. It has music done by the super lesbian anal RPG composer Beatrix Quinn. She's fantastic. I'm also making a sci-fi fantasy RPG called Astral Guard. You can also check out all of my Little Pony comics that I make that I'm known for on my Tumblr at punkit-is-here.
Can we put one of those ponies on screen, please?
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
sure, why not?
Yeah.
or at punkitdev on Twitter. You can just Google me. I'll show up.
Yeah.
So
I'm Pumpkin.
you'll find me.
I wanted to ask. Do you know that face Rainbow Dash makes when Applejack tells her not to show her videos of squirrels having sex?
Yeah,
Can I use that face?
you can use that anywhere. Yeah,
Anytime,
on everything.
anywhere, on everything?
Yeah,
Thank you.
why not?
Verbal permission. You heard it here, chat.
Yeah, it's recorded live, like forever.
Forever.
So yeah, people ask me like, "Hey, can I use it as a Discord profile picture?" And it's like, it's art. Do what you want with it. It's not even a character I own. She said it.
Yeah.
She said
It's
it.
just I want that space specifically.
All right.
Oh, by the way, you inspired one of my friends to like make a funny drawing based on one of your comics.
Oh my gosh, I'm honored. Hell yes.
Yeah, I think it was a Precure one they made of like a mermaid holding a bomb. Based on your Trixie.
That's great. That's so fun.
Yeah,
Oh my
shout out to Nova.
All
Hell
right.
yeah.
All right. It's time to drift off into the night.
I'll post it.
Good
Also
night.
Pumpkin, I think. Also Pumpkin.
I'm so spaced out right now.
Bro, so you gotta let us end the show. Seems gonna die.
Watch Precure.
I don't think I can stand straight. Oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, it's all over the floor.